that moment that you realize your team sucks. You have like a very brief denial phase, and then you quickly are like, I've been here before. This is, I'm crawling back into my own bed. Yeah. I know how this, I'm going to sleep well tonight. I've been through this. On today's Pardon My Take, Week 7 in the NFL. We're going to recap every single game from Sunday, do some fastest 2 minutes. Who's back of the week? A great Monday recap, as always, from the boys. And we're going to do it sponsored by our friends at Duracell. Few sports are more technically demanding than auto racing. Because of those standards, Williams Racing only trusts one brand of batteries, Duracell. You may not think you need the same level of performance in your batteries until you do. That's because Duracell is engineered for more and a proud partner of Williams Racing. I'm a Duracell guy. I need Duracell batteries all the time for all my kids' toys, for everything around the house. You don't want to be stuck with some other battery. You need Duracell because they last the longest. They are the best, and you can tell by the fact that they are in F1. They're racing, Williams Racing. We've been out there. We went to a race in Miami. I think PFT and Hank are going to Vegas. So thank you to Williams Racing. Thank you to Duracell. Duracell is engineered for more and a proud partner of Williams Racing. Learn more at Duracell.com. Pardon My Take is a Duracell podcast. Thank you to Duracell. Wonderful sponsor. We love Duracell batteries. So learn more at Duracell.com and get the best batteries in the world. Okay, let's go. Welcome to Pardon My Take. Today is Monday, October 23rd, and week 7. What's 7 in Spanish? Siesta? Siete. I almost had it.
Siete.
My brain blocked up there for a second, Teach.
Uno, dos, tres.
We start in Baltimore, where, sorry, Ms. Lamar Jackson, these Ravens are for real. Never meant to make Dan Campbell cry. The Lions played like they were on a bye. Mark Andrews Bogut went sky high for his first of 2 scores as a Gus bus ran all over Detroit. As for the cowardly Lions, we're not in the dome anymore as they tried to click their shoes to make a touchdown appear, but left Baltimore muttering SOL as these same old Lions smell like poo, poo, poo. The Ravens kill the Lions 38-6, and it wasn't even that close.
We go to Indy, where Gardner 2.5 Minshew and Jonathan Taylor Thomas had the laugh tracks going in the first quarter as the Colts jumped out to an early lead. And as Deshauncy Billups Watson and his fearsome D got hurt, it was time for P.J. Walker, Texas Ranger, to step in and give his team some much-needed aids on offense. There might be a little dust in the bottle. Hopkins got sweeter with time, making a 50-yarder in his last 5 games consecutively. But the Colts fought back, and their protection was lacking as Kareem Pie Hunt finished in the end zone after a false flag, giving the Browns a win, 39-38.
In Foxborough, where it's always darkest before dawn, especially when you have a lighthouse to show you the way, Bill Belichick, my good personal friend, notches his 300th win and a contract extension. Someday. Big Mac Jones found his special sauce with game-winning touchdown drive to Mike Gesicki Bun. Because it was such a big win, we kick it to our producer and diehard Patriots fan, Hank Lockwood, for comment. Oh shit, I think he's on a vacation again, Teach.
He stepped out, boom.
Oh.
He's on vacation.
Bill's coach, Sean McDermott, was seen drinking apple juice post-game as Bill Belichick little boyed his team Sunday afternoon. And no one circles the wagons like the Lighthouse Patriots. Patriots 29, Bills 25. Hank? Oh, no. He's not here.
That's his yawn, Boom. I can spot that yawn from anyways. Up to the Meadowlands we go, where Bong Rivera looked very green as he got lit up by Brian 8-Ball. Saquon me. Barkley had his aha moment and some cool-looking draws, while Terry Dactyl McLaurin looked extinct for the first half. and a touching tribute to my good friend Reek from Game of Thrones. With Tyrod Lenore-Taylor and Sam Throw in the howl, it was a game of sacks. Darren Ravel Waller caught over 6 pieces of merchandise from the first African-American quarterback to ever win a game for the New York Football Giants. Giants win 14-7.
In the Windy City with the Graders versus the Hares as Dante Just for Men saved Chicago from dying. Spyler's secret Agent Man snuck up underneath Josh McDaniels as he's no longer to see past his 2 chins. Come jail away, come jail away, come jailing away with me. As Jalen Johnson said, look at me, I'm the captain now. To the Raiders after his second pick was returned for a score. Every drive was a hard drive for Hunter Biden Renfro as he looked like a baseball player going for a walk, taking a free base. And the Raiders are showing their cracks. Are the Bears back? Some are asking the question. Bears 30, the Raiders 12.
We go to Kansas City where the Chiefs looked like a well-oiled machine as Marquez Exxon Valdez-Scantling scored. Joshua Machine Gun Kelly started out looking like it was a wrap, but then got punked. Michael Jackson Mahomes said, I'll be there anytime Taylor Swift is on screen, and Justin Herbert's picks are inevitable as the Giants' sadness goes to infinity and beyond, continuing to be a collection of unserious toys owned by Andy. The Chiefs 31, the San Diego Superchargers 17.
Out west where the Steelers D double cupped as George Slippins dominated and Jaylene Warren walked into the end zone. Pac Atwell put the Rams ahead, but TJ in the city of good old Watts showed some California love to Stafford, cradling his football to the goal line in a game-changing play. Are the Steelers good or the Rams bad? Whoop! Steelers 24, Rams 17.
We go up to Mile High, where Cortland Sutton About Mary could only look on as Jerry Jeudy got hit in his beans and his frank. Can anybody find Jordan somebody to love? Was under pressure. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da. As the Packers looked like they wished they were back in training camp riding their bicycles as Russ finally cooked after pleading with the Broncos that he wants to break free. Late in the fourth quarter, Broncos kicker Will another one bites the Lutz, hit the game winner, sending the Packers home. The Broncos 19, the Packers 17. This happened on Thursday night, but we need to sing a song for a good friend Jameis and his Saints.
Standing on the corner, Jameis Winston down in NOLA, such a fine sight to see. It's the Jags, my lord, hitting that's my lord. Carr's taking shots to his PP. Come on, Dennis, stop being a menace. If the Jags don't make the Super Bowl, Prisco is finished. Jags 31, Saints 24. And that is the fastest 2 minutes, week 7. Brought to you by our friends at Chevy. There's a new family with unstoppable grit, and they're the official partners of the Pardon My Take family, and that is the Chevy Silverado ZR2 family. The first ever Silverado heavy-duty ZR2 joins the franchise to make Chevy ZR2 the only truck brand with a full lineup of trucks ready for wherever your off-road adventures take you, with exclusive Multimatic DSSV dampers, rugged mud terrain tires, and up to 14 available camera views. The Chevy Silverado ZR2 and Silverado HD ZR2, a family with commanding and unstoppable grit. Head right now to Chevy.com. Check out the Chevy Silverado and the family of Chevy ZR2s, the official trucks of Pardon My Take. We are a Chevy podcast, so thank you to Chevy. Head over to Chevy.com. Check out Chevy Silverado and the family of Chevy ZR2s, the official trucks of Pardon My Take. Okay, week 7 in the books. We are recording during the first half of the Dolphins-Eagles game. We will get to all of that later. Max is actually watching the game on stream. Also, Hank is not here, which is very unfortunate because the Patriots won a game.
It's awful. I really wish that Hank was here.
Yeah, we have some good stats for Hank otherwise. But let's get into the games. What a great Sunday. And let's start with what was supposed to be the premier early game and was a coronation of the Ravens being very much for real. Ravens 38, Lions 6. I like to say this was a shit pumping is actually wrong because it was something more than that.
I think it was an ass kicking.
It was such a blowout by the Ravens. The Lions didn't get their first down until the Ravens were up 28-0.
Yeah.
And we'll start with the Ravens because they deserve all the credit here. It felt like this was maybe, and maybe we look back at this and like that was stupid. This may be the week that Todd Monken's offense finally clicked for Lamar and the Ravens because they sliced and diced the Lions secondary. Lamar was MVP Lamar. That was MVP Lamar that we saw today. Like not even running the ball. He didn't even run the ball that much. He stayed in the pocket, like waited for everything to progress, was hitting everyone. Zay Flowers, is phenomenal. Big play after big play after big play. Lamar finished 21 for 27, 357 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a rushing touchdown. And the Ravens, remember we saying this the other day, like if the Ravens could ever figure out that step on the throat mentality, they could be a true Super Bowl contender. And this was the first game where it's like they went, playing against a very good Lions team and completely obliterated.
So as I said on Friday, I could see the Lions blowing out the Ravens. I can't see a world where the Ravens blow out the Lions. Newsflash, I'm dumb as shit.
We all are.
I got this one very wrong.
You know what?
Extremely wrong.
It's better than what I did, where I basically made a ton of points for why the Ravens would win and then bet on the Lions.
Yeah.
I was like, the Lions secondary hasn't been tested. This could be a big mismatch for them. Made all these points, and then when I made the bet, I put in the Lions, and then I felt like the biggest dummy in the world.
Your brain was right. Your balls were wrong.
Right.
On that one.
Right.
As so often happens with us. But yeah, it was an ass kicking. And the Lions just like straight up could not compete with the Ravens today. On offense, Lamar had one of the best games of his entire career. And I didn't realize this. Did you know that Lamar is 16-1 against the NFC?
You know what?
He doesn't lose against the NFC.
There is a theory that NFC teams don't, because they never see him.
Yeah.
They see him once every 4 years, that they don't fully know how to play defense against him.
Right.
Whereas AFC teams have seen it multiple times, especially in division. So I guess I kind of prescribe to that theory.
Yeah, I prescribe to it. I'm going to take Lamar against the NFC for the rest of my life after I heard that stat. It was also the first home game for the Ravens in like a month.
Yeah.
A full month.
Since the Colts lost.
I always feel like that provides extra juice.
Yeah.
When the fans haven't seen you at home for a long time, they're ready. They're ready to go. They have the purple, black, white, gray camo pants out in full force.
Yeah, Terrell Suggs was there.
Yeah, it was Suggs
It was
day.
a beautiful day.
And yeah, it was just straight up an ass kicking. Did you see Todd Monken up in the booth when he hates fist pounds. He hates them.
Yeah.
Like the guys on each side of him, they were trying to fist bump him, and he just slapped their hands with his open. He was like, no, we do high fives. We do high fives up in this booth. But everything came together for the Ravens today.
I have a question for you about the Ravens. So not to overreact, but this is the whole show as we overreact, and we don't know what's going to happen with this Eagles-Dolphins game. But would it be fair to say the Ravens might be the second or third best team in the AFC behind the Chiefs? Like
right now, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the Jags obviously are also 5-2. The Bills, we'll get to them, have taken a step back. The Dolphins are playing the Eagles right now. Again, we don't know, but like they're 5-2 through the beginning of the year. They have that weird fluky loss to the Colts. And who was the other game? They lost the game to the Steelers where everyone dropped a pass.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the Ravens have kind of shown themselves they're gonna be there late in the year.
If the Super Bowl were today, the Ravens would win it.
I think so.
They're our Super Bowl winner of the week.
Because the 49ers play on Monday.
So make no mistake, this was just a straight up ass kicking. By the Ravens. There's no spin zone that you can do if you're the Lions to say like, hey, maybe this wasn't that bad. It was bad. It was probably worse than you think because it could have been worse. But one silver lining.
I don't know if it could have been worse.
I think it could have. I think they slowed down. They kind of slowed down a little bit.
But even in the second half, they had that like 80-yard pass to Gus.
Yeah.
And like that was right when they could have slowed down. It was like it was a little bit of a broken play.
And
the Lions were still trying to score at the end and they couldn't.
Yeah. Jameson had like I think 3 drops. One hit him right in the face.
Yeah, you could hear Max screaming in the background.
He was very bad today. The whole like just in general for the Lions, you played like crap today. But the silver lining might be that in 1991, did you know that the Lions started out 5-2?
Yes,
and
5-1.
They were 5-2.
Well, they're
just like they are now.
They were 5-1 going into their week 7 game.
Right. So the last time they were 5-2, They had a 32-point loss to make them 5-2, and they went on to win the division.
Yeah, they won a playoff.
They won
game.
a playoff game that year.
Hole has to stop sending us both the stats.
Yeah.
Just pick one of us. You can trade back and forth.
Yeah,
but he sent me that stat too.
So,
but yeah, I actually
in a weird spin zone like this, I think Dan Campbell said something like this after the game, like we probably needed a loss like this.
So yeah, I mean, this is a bury the football, like throw out the tape. You can make the argument a 1-point loss and a 32-point loss are the same thing, but you also could make the argument the Lions have beaten some, their week 1 Kansas City win is very, very impressive. Their Packers win is looking worse. If we're doing BCS computer, the Packers win is looking worse by the week.
Yep.
They killed the Panthers, they killed the Falcons, and they lost to the Seahawks. If you're a Lions fan, there's definitely like this was because, if you had lost in a competitive game, you're like, a road game, Lamar played great. This wasn't a competitive game in any stretch of the imagination.
No, Lamar had his way with you big time today.
This is some big time, like pour some cold water on the Lions and the Lions fans of like maybe a reality check real quick.
It's also a very tough day for the Lamar haters out there that say that he can't throw the ball. It's because he was wheeling, dealing. Patrick Ricard had the coolest reception of the day. He had like a 24-yard gain, and he's just like a 305-pound dude panicking because he's never seen that much daylight in front of him.
Yep.
As he runs downfield. Mark Andrews had a great day too. Zay Flowers is very big problem. Big problem.
That's the difference. The Ravens have weapons now, and their defense is really fucking good.
Yeah.
Like Roquan is the perfect Raven, even though he actually has beaten the Steelers. I don't know why we keep saying that. Someone has corrected me, but I don't know what his record. Maybe he hasn't actually.
He might have one win.
He might have one win, but he might be 1-2 against Steelers. So he's got to beat him again.
You have to have a winning record against the Steelers to be a Raven.
But their Ravens defense and they're getting healthier, which is actually kind of a cheat code by the Ravens to start the season with all the injuries, because then there's no way to go but getting healthier.
What happens is you get a bunch of starters injured in like week 1, week 2, and then it takes a couple weeks for your backups to get enough reps with the first team, and then they start playing like their first teamers.
Also, it's like making a couple big splashes at the deadline.
Yeah.
They just added some key pieces.
Yes, they're going to get a bunch of players back for sure.
They were the most active trade deadline team.
So, this was a Greg Olsen game today, right? Mm-hmm. We love Greg Olsen, recurring guest, great tight end, great looking guy. He's got it all, except for a nice coat to wear on television.
So he took a risk. It didn't work.
It looked like he sliced up a couch with a butcher's knife and then just draped it on his shoulders like a cape.
Well, the problem is, I think I have that same coat, and I wear it for Barstool Sports Advisors when I'm intentionally trying to look as bad as possible.
It was like felt. It really looked like he didn't bring a coat, and then he saw the curtains in his hotel room this morning. He was like, you know what? I'll just put these on, and nobody will notice.
And I know, like I said, Greg's a friend, and you have to tell your friends when they wear a fucking god-awful coat that makes you want to poke your eyes out. You have to.
I think
because otherwise you're not a good friend.
Right.
Like you have to tell your friend when he wears something that's so embarrassing, you wonder if he should even have the job anymore. You have to say these things. Burn that coat, and whoever told you that was a good coat, unless your wife, then I take all this back. But I think it was like some new age, fashion guy tried to tell him this. And Greg Olsen, let's be honest, Greg Olsen's a great looking dude. He's basically a mannequin in terms of looks where everything would look good on him. So guys like that can take risks. This risk failed.
He looked like he was in a Barbie cinematic universe where he was playing Ken, but if Ken was like a really shitty used car salesman.
Yeah.
It was like made out of Velcro. So Greg, listen, I actually like the fact that Greg Olsen is wearing terrible clothes on TV because otherwise it's not fair.
Yes, that's true. He looked like if he was like in a Bond movie and he was playing blackjack next to Bond, and then it was like a foreshadowing of Bond having to realize it 2 hours later as the movie progresses, like, what was that coat?
Yeah.
Who could forget that awful coat?
Yeah.
And then you have like a callback scene.
Yeah, he was up to something. It was on National Tight End Day.
We're not going to make a thing about the coat.
No, there was a terrible, terrible coat.
Yeah. We're not going to make it a big thing, but burn the coat. Burn whoever gave you the coat. Start over. Just wear a t-shirt. You look hot in a t-shirt, dude. You're a hot dude.
He could pull off just about anything in the world except for that coat.
Yeah.
which I almost respect. Like, he found the one thing that made Greg Olsen look not super, super handsome.
Yeah, it was like it was basically a challenge unlocked. Can you make Greg Olsen look bad?
Mm-hmm.
He did it.
Good job, Greg.
Yeah, but he's calling a game every week, so he's got to have a
No, Jake.
The moment you get a package to call a season long, like, you got to go shopping.
Jake,
you got to vary it up.
It doesn't matter if you just wear a regular coat. No one says boo.
Yeah, that's fair.
He was taking a shot. He was feeling himself.
National tight ends day, like you said, like,
he was feeling himself, and it blew up in his face. It
fine.
is what it is.
It's fine. Listen, great. He's going to come back. I'm sure he'll have some heat next week. He'll look great, and everybody will be like, oh, what an awesome guy Greg Olsen is. He looks awesome on television. But we'll always have this 1 week. For this 1 week, Greg Olsen appeared human.
Much like the Lions, it's 1 week, and it's how you respond to the bad week.
Yeah.
It's not how, like, we can't say, oh, the Lions are a terrible team now. Though they had a really, really bad game. Yeah, there's bigger questions. They had a really, really bad game. So did Greg Olsen's coat. Come back next week stronger. Bury the coat.
Greg Olsen probably needed a week like this to bring him down to earth, so he can get back in the film room and get back to basics and what made him great to begin with.
I would like to hear from Lions fans, though, how they're feeling, because this is one of those losses that you're riding high and everything feels good and you're killing the bad teams, which I give credit to anyone. It's the NFL. It's hard to win games no matter what. They pay those guys too. But then to have a loss like this against another team, an AFC team that is Super Bowl aspirations, that's got to feel bad.
I think what you say to yourself is, well, at least we don't have to play Lamar until the Super Bowl.
Right. But now the other thing I was going to say, the stat Hole gave both of us, the 91 Lions being 5-1 going into their 7th game and losing by exactly 32. That team won a playoff game. Would Lions fans sign up for a playoff win this year?
Oh, absolutely.
A single.
Yes, I think
nothing else. You can't get past that.
I think they would.
Okay.
I think they would.
Probably, yeah.
Also, this was the first of 3 straight games for the Ravens against NFC teams, to your stat earlier.
Oh, okay. So who do we got next week?
Cardinals.
Oh, I bet I'm going to take the Ravens in that one.
And then Seahawks.
Here's the other good thing for the Lions. Their schedule is not hard. They have a lot of winnable games coming up. They play the Raiders, the Chargers, the Bears, the Packers, the Saints, the Bears again, the Broncos.
Uh-huh.
I'm saying, like, the Vikings twice. They have the Cowboys week 17. I just listed a bunch of teams that the Lions, maybe outside of at the Chargers, should be favored over.
Yeah, and to our point that we made, I think on Friday, 5-2 looks awesome.
5-2 looks great.
5-2 is a fantastic record.
Yeah, 5-2 looks great. Go beat the Raiders next week back in Detroit, Monday Night Football, and then you get a bye week. And then you're back. Everything feels good.
I also love how we're just like kind of completely going back on what we said about the Lions, that they don't take games off, that they won't get their ass kicked. Now we're like, you know what? It's probably good for them. Woke them up a little bit.
I don't even know if they took this game off. They just got their asses kicked.
Yeah.
Like I think the Ravens are at this point in time a lot better than the Lions.
Jared was not ready for that defense, or the offensive line was. I don't know exactly how they were getting pressure on him all the time. He was uncomfortable.
He didn't look good.
The very first snap.
He didn't have a good game, and the Lions' rush defense, which was the best rush defense statistically going into today, they gave up 146 yards.
Remember, it was the nerd nugget. It was the top defense versus one of the best rushing offenses.
Yeah, they got gashed. So best on best. But maybe this is the moment. Todd Monken's offense. Did it all click?
I mean, if you're a Ravens fan, you were definitely thinking Super Bowl right now.
The answer is probably not, because the Ravens will then, knowing how the Ravens always act, I still think they're a very good team, but next week they'll go out and like lay a clunker. And then everyone will be like, what's up with the Ravens? Then they'll just do it again, where then they kill someone. That's how the Ravens do it.
There was a very weird moment in the second half of this game where Odell Beckham just spat into his helmet, just like hawked a loogie into his helmet. Some people were telling me that he was spitting on his visor to like clear it off.
Oh, like a scuba mask.
Like a scuba mask. But if you watch the replay, he just took his helmet and just like, he was holding it like a foot away from his mouth and just spat into it indiscriminate. I don't know, like he just spits in because it makes it easier to put on.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I could think of. It was probably like the fifth most strange thing that Odell Beckham did today. But pretty weird. Pretty weird move.
Okay, next game. Patriots 29, Bills 25. Tough day for us versus you guys just suck off the Bills and the Lions crowd.
Yeah.
They're out for blood. They want answers. We have answers. I think we were fair. The Lions sucked today. Jared was not good. Their whole team looked bad. The Bills also sucked today.
So I think I figured out what's wrong with the Bills. I think they just might not be a very good football team right now.
I would agree.
I think that there's like some actual problems with that team, especially their rush defense. And the offense looks a little out of sorts too. Like the Bills, we put them in the Super Bowl contending conversation at the start of every year because they have Josh Allen and Josh Allen kicks ass, but he's not playing his best right now. The defense isn't playing their best right now. I think the Bills just aren't a very good team.
I think the Bills' defensive injuries have piled up in a way that they are not. Like Mac Jones was very good today.
Yeah.
Mac Jones he's gotten a lot of shit. He deserves a ton of credit. He was very good. That game-winning drive was a big boy drive. And the Bills' defense, because we said it on Friday, like the Giants moved the ball on the Bills too. I think their defense is like below average right now. And their offense looks clunky. And on top of all that, the last 3 games, they've at halftime combined, they're down 30-10. They've just been coming out so slow and not able to make up for it. And you get this, where I know that they came back and they took the lead late in the 4th, but the Patriots outplayed the Bills. Like it wasn't fluky. The Patriots outplayed the Bills.
Mac Jones outplayed Josh Allen today.
Yeah.
Mac Jones, so here's a fun stat, Hank. You'll appreciate this if you were here.
Hank?
Mac Jones tied Tom Brady for the most last 15-second go-ahead touchdowns in Patriots history.
Wow.
With 1.
Wow.
So they've each got 1 now. Big day for Mac. Big day for Bill Belichick.
300th win.
He has 300th, and he got a contract extension 4 months ago.
Yeah.
That we just found out about today. I thought that timing was pretty interesting that they announced it today as everybody's like, hey, what's going to happen with Bill? Are they going to fire him? Are they going to ask Bill to leave? And then they spring actually he signed a lucrative contract extension just a few months ago.
Yeah, funny you should ask.
Mm-hmm.
We actually just signed an extension. Tom Curran, who covers the Patriots, who I think is native Bill, or at least his sons are, said that it was interesting because only the last time the Patriots talked about Bill Belichick's contract, which is a mystery. We have no idea how much money Bill Belichick makes every
We need
year.
to know how much coaches make.
I wish we knew. I would guess like 10 million?
Yeah, I was going to say about 10. He's the highest paid coach probably.
Yeah, by far. So he said that the last time they talked about an extension and essentially this same playbook of, we signed him an extension this summer was right after Spygate.
Yeah.
So similar, like, hey, what are the questions going on and everything? No, Bill Belichick's our coach. So it does feel like I guess that's a vote of confidence.
I guess so. But it's also not that big of a vote of confidence, the fact that they leaked this right now. If they really believed in Belichick, they probably would have announced that over the summer.
No, but they don't do that.
Him,
They
right?
never announce those things.
I think
they wait just to be like break glass in case of emergency.
In case something weird happens. I don't know. Vrabel was there though.
Vrabel was there. Yeah, I think he was getting inducted into the Patriots Ring of Honor. And yeah, the Patriots. Like, I wish Hank were here. He would have loved to talk about that game
on Belichick 300 day.
On Belichick 300 day.
And we should just remind ourselves that Bill Belichick has the most Super Bowl wins as a head coach. He's got 6. He's got the most, Super Bowl wins as a head coach with 6. Most Super Bowl wins in total with 8. Most Super Bowl appearances with 12. Most playoff wins with 31.
Oh, those are great
so
stats.
These are just factual stats that I'd like to say.
And what is Bill Belichick? What's his favorite phrase? Second favorite phrase. Do your job's number 1.
No days off.
No days
No
off.
days off, yeah.
So, Hank.
He knows
Okay,
that very
thank
well.
you, Hank.
I love that Bill Belichick said that during the parade on a day off.
On a day
when
off.
everybody was taking off a day
no
from work.
days off. But yeah, the Patriots, like, I feel like as someone who goes through what feels like a tanking season every single year, getting these random wins actually is very good for the psyche. Because it's like, maybe we're not so far off.
Yeah.
Like that's it's a nice thing. You have to balance it where you're like, we want the draft pick, but winning a game every now and then, and we'll get to the Bears, like winning a game every now and then, it kind of feels good.
Yeah, and the Patriots looked like a regional college school playing against Alabama for the last few weeks.
Right.
They looked really, really bad. And today they actually played great football. So
Mac Jones' confidence.
Mac Jones looked pretty good today.
He did. He
was throwing it. That last drive was huge. I think he's probably going to go into next week being like probably a little too confident, if we're being honest.
Oh yeah,
Like
his dance after.
Yeah,
like he had won the Super Bowl.
Oh, and shout out to Mike Gesicki, who remains committed to doing the gritty.
Yes,
and that was an appropriate gritty at the end of the game when you score the go-ahead touchdown. And I think he's like intentionally bad at the gritty now. I think he's in on the joke. He's trying to fuck it up real bad.
Yes.
But it was beautiful to see. He was just an excited dude.
Yeah. And Demario Douglas, who I think is a rookie for the Patriots, he looked like now you always have to judge it because the Patriots somehow collect what seems like the slowest wide receivers in skill position, but he looked like he had pop.
Yeah.
Like they have something there. Last thing I had, which is a quote I don't quite understand. Von Miller said this was a reality check. Every team needs a good punch in the mouth. Hasn't that been the last 3 weeks for the Bills?
Yeah, last week they set like a world record in ineptitude in a game that was won against the Giants. They got punched in the mouth last week.
And then the week before they got punched in the mouth by the Jaguars.
Yeah, they're getting punched in the mouth a lot these days.
They might be concussed.
Yeah.
They might be punch drunk.
Yeah.
So I don't know if like you can say, oh yeah, this is actually good for us, like the Lions said, because it keeps happening. So like, yeah, you might not be that good of a football team right now.
Yeah, so the Bills look great on offense against the Commanders, and then ever since then they've just looked very, very mediocre at best.
Right. And you keep and the Raiders as well. They killed the Raiders.
That's right. Yeah.
And so you keep thinking like, oh, it's there somewhere, and maybe it will click, and they'll all of a sudden look like the Bills that we've been accustomed to. But right now, I wouldn't bet on it because this is 3 weeks in a row where they have not looked good.
I think we have a Diva Watch update too.
Why?
Stephon Diggs declined to speak to reporters and mulled in his locker for 45 minutes, according to Ben
Oh,
Volen.
he
of the
mulled?
Mold?
He was mulling?
He mulled?
According to Ben Volen of the Boston Globe.
What was he doing at his locker? Just staring off in the distance?
How much mulling?
Scenes from postgame. Stephon Diggs declined to speak to reporters and mulling at his locker for 45 minutes.
Would you rather have a player mulling or stewing at their locker? I feel like I'd rather have a player that stews.
Stew.
Yeah, because if they're stewing, I think
There's
they're
anger.
Yeah, they're angry and they're thinking about stuff. If you're mulling, you're plotting some sort of weird move.
Yeah.
And that's also like a mull is definitely a sad when you're sitting.
Yeah.
You're kind of
Yeah.
you're
Bad
questioning
energy.
your whole life.
Yeah.
How you got here, all that.
It's like Max-
stewing is
the-
like I can't wait for next week.
the
I'm gonna
Super Bowl
fucking get 'em.
picture.
Yeah.
Max staring off.
He was mulling.
He is mulling.
Yeah.
When you're mulling, you're thinking about mistakes you've made in the past and you're dwelling on them.
Right.
Like,
If
how
you're
could things be different?
If
Yeah.
you're stewing, you're thinking about the future.
Yeah.
And how can I fix this?
I want a guy that stews.
I love Stephon Diggs, but it's a pet peeve of mine when we
What?
don't speak to the media.
Oh, how dare
Oh.
they?
Just be like,
He
yeah, it
did.
was a
He
tough
mulled. You got a story out of him.
Body language.
Yeah.
Yeah, you literally, and also here's my counterpoint to that, Jake. When you don't speak to the media, that's also a story. So what's the,
That's true.
like, what is he going to
But
say?
it's better for the player to be like, to speak.
No, because he's going to say a bunch of cliches that no one gives a fuck about.
Right. Then it won't be a story.
Right, but I'm saying like journalists,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
can't be upset when a player doesn't speak to the media because you then get even more of a story.
Right. Like when Cam Newton lost the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it was a
and
big story.
And he didn't tell you that's a
Right.
big story. You got your
Yeah.
copy filled.
So if you're mad that a player doesn't speak to the
You
media,
know, it's easier for the story, but I'm saying it's for the player's benefit is better.
if I was a journalist, I would never want the players to speak because then I'd just be like, this guy's a fucking pussy.
and he won't talk to me.
Yeah, story written.
I'll just say that on the record, I don't care when a player doesn't talk to the
Yeah, I
media
don't either.
afterwards.
I don't
Yeah.
know because they
Jake, what-
rarely say anything good.
Jake,
Right.
what if you had the worst podcast of your life? Right? What if you messed up every nerd nugget?
And you're
Then
just
I wanna-
mulling in
and
the
then
corner.
right
I would want to be
afterwards-
accountable.
Then right afterwards, Hank grills you for like 30 minutes.
I'd be like, it's on me. I take full responsibility.
See, and then I'd be like,
like I did
what
for
did-
our picks
But then
issue
I-
yesterday.
but
I
then
said,
I
it's my
would-
fault. It's my fault. It's my fault.
Yeah, then I would say, what is that? That's just a cliche. I don't care.
You don't actually mean
Whereas,
that.
yeah, if Hank filed a report saying Jake Marsh could not be reached for comment, I'd be like, ooh, trouble in paradise.
Yeah.
This is awesome. This is juicy.
Yeah.
It's also very possible that Stephon Diggs just hates losing, which is a guy that you would actually want to have on your team.
I'm also realizing that like we should teach a journalism class because the shit you're learning was so off.
Well,
Yeah.
You be like drilled into
No
you that
comment.
the players have to talk to the media. No, the players don't have to talk to the media. It's a better story when they don't because then you get to just.
but it makes
make
them
up
look
what-
worse.
Jake, did
Who
you
cares?
just no comment us?
Yeah.
We're gonna have to
Yeah.
have to talk about how
No,
Jake won't
yeah.
address the
What do
media.
you mean? That's
You're
more
not-
than that's more than
Jake-
sitting and mulling like this.
No, Jake, you're not addressing the media right now. When Big Cat asked you a question as a journalist and you said no comment,
Well, I thought you were going in
you're
a
pulling a
different
digs.
direction.
You're
I think
pulling a digs.
journalists are just such robots that they're like, oh, he didn't speak. So now what am I going to do? I would be like, hey, he didn't speak. Now I get to write a story just bashing him.
Well, I think that most sports journalists grow up thinking to themselves like, okay, I want to be a sports journalist when I grow up. And then once they get there, they think that's the most important job in the world.
Right.
It's like that, and then being like a roadie for Bruce Springsteen, tied 1 and 2.
Right.
And so once you reach that level, then you think that that the players owe you something
Right.
after the game.
Right.
Speak
Speak to us.
Yeah, talk to me. I have a
your best
laptop.
cliche.
I have a laptop and a Diet Coke.
Yeah.
You fucking better open your mouth and give me some words that don't mean anything, that you don't mean.
Tell us you're on to the next week.
Yeah.
You got to go look at the film.
I
that was an
absolutely
iconic
hate it when a
interview.
quarterback doesn't tell me that every interception that he threw was his fault.
I will not sleep until they tell me that they have to look at the film before they tell me what happened.
Can you believe this coach didn't tell me that it starts with me and that it starts and ends with me and that he's got to take a good long look in the mirror? This is bullshit. What am I going to write about?
Also, Stephon Diggs definitely saved himself because if he was mulling, he would have said some shit
Yeah.
that he would have regretted.
Yep.
And he would
So
have had to
fun to
mull
watch.
even more.
It's so fun.
Okay. So congrats to Hank. Oh yeah, still not here. Congrats to Hank. He had to know we were gonna do this. No one
Did you
give
try
Hank
calling
shit.
him?
He was at a friend's wedding. No, I think the wedding was tonight. So I don't want to interrupt. He knew we knew he wasn't gonna be here. It's just very funny that the Patriots won against the Bills. Because like he would have, if the Patriots had gotten killed by the Bills, he would have been like, thank God I'm not there. But he had the one chance to gloat all season.
And he's not getting it.
He's not getting
it. It was also the Lighthouse's first win today.
Ooh.
And
Where were you? We were here.
We were here. We were watching it. There was a field goal that the Bills missed in the first half that was it sailed like 20 yards to the right after he kicked it.
So windy.
That's the windy conditions that Belichick was talking about that the Lighthouse does provide.
Yep. That's a fact.
So give the Lighthouse half the win today.
That's a fact. Okay, before we get to the next games, Game Time, the exclusive ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. You shouldn't have to worry when you're buying tickets to your next big event. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all sports, music, comedy, and theaters events near you. If you're going, I'm going to a comedy show soon. I am. Blackhawks are back. Hockey, basketball. We're about to have the sports apocalypse. What do we call it?
Sports Equinox.
Sports Equinox,
all
where
four
all
on
four
Monday.
major
Is that
sports.
tomorrow, Monday?
It might be.
Today.
Is NBA tomorrow?
Oh, Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday. So we're going to have that in the next week. Game Time will get you into all of these games. Last minute tickets, flash deals, zone deals. Easy to find and buy tickets for every kind of event in your area. Game Time is the only ticketing app that gives you complete peace of mind with your purchase. See the view from your seat before you buy so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive. All-in prices show you total up front, so you know you're getting a great deal without hidden fees. Buy tickets in seconds with 2 taps. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets at Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account. Use code PMT for $20 off your first purchase. Code PMT, $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code PMT for $20 off. Download Game Time. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Game Time has you covered, the exclusive ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. Use that code PMT for $20 off your first purchase. Okay, next up, maybe the most insane game of Sunday that lasted 4.5 hours. It was the Browns 39, Colts 38. This game had everything. It had Minshew mania. It had Deshaun looking like shit and then going out. It had PJ Walker. It had Myles Garrett being a beast. It had maybe some questionable calls at the end. It had the Browns looking at what are the Browns now? Are they 4-2? Browns are 4-2. And this game rocked PFT.
Yeah, it was a great game, and it did last for forever. So Myles Garrett is the first player since 2000 with 2 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and a blocked kick in a single game.
The block kick was so
He destroyed it. He just jumped over the line, and I think if you touch an offensive lineman when you're trying to jump over him, it's a penalty, and I think it's a big one. I think it's either 10 or 15 yards, so it'd be a first down. He just jumped over and blocked a kick on his own. Just do that every time, Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
Wembanyama would also be pretty good, just
He
like
would.
sticking his hands up in the air. But yeah, Myles Garrett was unblockable today, just a monster. And you're right, the Colts got fucked. The Colts got fucked pretty badly on that last drive. There was a pass interference that was called on a ball that was thrown. Conservatively, it was 10 yards out of the end zone where it landed. And I don't know if they do uncatchable anymore. I don't know how the refs would get together and discuss that. But if you saw the play, that was uncatchable. And if it's pass interference and it's 10 yards out of the back of the end zone, then there's no chance that should be ruled a penalty and they get the ball on the 1 yard line. So the Colts got fucked on that big time.
Big time. And all right, so the Colts, I'm a big fan of Shane Steichen. They obviously have had a weird season because Anthony Richardson is out for the year. The fact that they might be the friskiest team in the NFL.
They're a well-coached team.
They're a well-coached team. They're frisky. They've won against some good opponents. It feels like they're in every game, and they don't make they made a bunch of mistakes today because they had fumbles and everything, and they couldn't block Myles Garrett, but no one can. But yeah, the Colts might be my friskiest team.
They're super frisky.
You don't know what to expect when you're playing the Colts. They're going to put up a fight. I know they lost by $1 billion to the Jags last week.
Yeah, but when they're at home, they always compete. And this was the first loss in the history of Lucas Oil Stadium where the window was closed and the roof was open.
Damn.
They still covered, but they were 10-0. Now they're 10-1. Asterisks on this one. Deshaun Watson. Should we talk about Deshaun?
Yeah, he stinks.
He's pretty bad, and they're paying him $230 million. And when he got injured today, I don't know if he was ever diagnosed with it. I think he got diagnosed with just being rich and not really wanting to play football that much anymore.
Yeah, because he put his helmet back on, which usually with a concussion, they don't let you have your helmet.
Yeah.
And he got injured on a play where he threw one of the worst interceptions, except the Colts player dropped it at the last second.
Yeah.
It's got to be, Browns fans know this. They're tortured. It's got to be extra maddening to know that you kind of signed a deal with the devil and Deshaun Watson. You've gotten past that. Like, hey, like all of us as fans have rooted for guys that maybe we don't love. But you got him because you knew he was an incredible quarterback. You now have an incredible defense, and Deshaun Watson stinks.
Yeah, when he's playing, he just doesn't look like the old Deshaun Watson who was having fun when he was playing. Like he would run around and he would actually go full tilt. This Deshaun just kind of looks like he's going through the motions a little bit. And when you put PJ Walker back there, at least he's trying.
And he has multiple times a game where he throws interceptions that are like, fuck it, I'm just going to throw it and hope something happens.
Yeah, like I don't really want to be on offense anymore.
Yeah, like maybe someone will catch this.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Who cares? But yeah, it's definitely a problem because PJ Walker, he did have the game-winning drive, but he's not, PJ Walker, you can't expect to be your starter for a playoff.
He's a nice backup.
He's a very nice backup. Very nice backup. Also, Gardner Minshew might be back because what he did to the Browns defense today, which was the best defense in the league coming into today, he had 4 total touchdowns. He did have some Gardner Minshew moments where it's just fun because Gardner Minshew is like, the Tony Snell meme when he just plays for 30 minutes and doesn't record a stat. Mm-hmm. Gardner Minshew will always make sure that Gardner Minshew played.
He's got everything.
He's like he's the wedding guest that like really cuts it up on the dance floor. Maybe says something inappropriate to the mother of the bride. Tries to make an impromptu speech, and you walk away being like, oh yeah, Gardner was there.
I think this is the very definition of wild card.
Yeah,
he's such a wild card.
You feel him. It's fun. You feel something when you watch him.
He'll have multiple touchdowns. He'll have some fumbles. He'll throw an interception. He'll probably get his helmet knocked off a couple times. He'll
do a dance.
Yeah, he'll get up and do a big group celebration on the sidelines after a sick touchdown. He'll give his dad a bro hug in the tunnel after the game's over. Like Gardner Minshew watching him makes you feel more alive.
Yeah, you never walk out of a Gardner Minshew game being like, wait, who played quarterback today? No, it was Gardner Minshew.
Yeah, shit will happen. Shit will happen for sure.
Yeah, Minshew Mania might be back, but good for the Browns. Even though they got a little lucky there. But you know what? The Browns are definitely in the category of teams that if they get a favorable whistle, I will never blame them or be like, that's bullshit. Because they deserve it. I feel like they've probably gotten their share of unfair whistles in the history of the Browns.
Yeah. They missed a couple tackles on their defensive side today, but overall, I think the Browns are still, they're going to be hanging around. They're 4-2 right now, which actually it puts them in 3rd place in that division. That division's kind of crazy.
The division's good.
Because the Steelers are, I guess, technically above them right now. And you just know that whenever any of these teams play each other, it's going to be like 17-15, and there's going to be like multiple injuries and weird shit's going to happen. They're just going to beat the hell out of each other.
And the craziest part is the last place team, the Bengals, is the team that I'd probably feel most confident in making a deep run.
Yeah.
It's a very good division. Very good division. Okay. Dustin Hopkins, we got to say something about him.
Yeah.
3 kicks over 50 yards, 58, 54, 54, added a 44-yarder. Incredible game.
5 games in a row with a 50-yard field goal.
Incredible game.
Kicking used to be a lot harder, I feel like, right? Like when you were growing up and you were attempting like a 51-yard field goal, you'd be like, oh shit, this is crazy long. And now it's like you have to be automatic from 50.
This is why the college game is so much fun because every kick, no matter the distance, is a hold your breath. This might not go in. Now in the NFL, I'm shocked when a guy misses like a 40-yarder.
Yeah.
Shocked. So yeah, it is. The kickers are very good.
They've gotten so much better in the last like 20 years.
And it is, you're right, because it's when we were growing up, there was attempting 50+ yarders. That wouldn't 3 of them in a game?
Yeah, maybe it's coaches have just learned to trust kickers more over the years, because coaches have always hated kickers. It's been their least favorite position by far. And now slowly kickers have proven that, yeah, we can kick the ball 50 yards if we have to. And over the course of the last, quarter century, coaches have gradually been giving them more and more freedom.
Okay, this is going to be very dumb what I'm about to say. What if kickers, and I know this is going to be dumb, what if kickers are all in the NFL really good at these long distance kicks, but they actually suck at short distance kicks and we don't even know it anymore because so many teams go for it?
They go for it on it's different angles.
And
Like
they move
what-
the extra point back.
Yeah, what if that'd be awesome if everyone just kept on missing like 23 yarders
Yeah.
and we just never figured it out?
They've become like Steph Curry.
Yeah. We just had no idea because they just weren't trying it. They can make all these 3-pointers, but they can't make a layup.
They can't play the old way.
That'd be a great twist.
Yeah.
Okay. Next game. Giants 14, Commanders 7. Soupy off.
Soupy officially off. I'm going to turn this over to Magic Johnson for analysis.
Okay.
Owner of the Commanders, partial owner, Magic Johnson said, "It's a disappointing 14-7 loss for my Commanders, the New York Giants. It's hard to win in the NFL when you only score 7 points." I think that says it all right there. Stathold did run the numbers on this. He said the teams that scored exactly 7 points since 1970 are 32, 974, and 4.
Oh.
So confirmed hard to win in the NFL when you're scoring 7 points. I'm in blow it all up mode. I'm in trade everybody mode. This is a bad team. I root for a very bad team, and I'm not going to apologize for saying that if we beat the Bills and the Eagles, I would think Soupy, because I would have been thinking Soupy at that point. But yeah, maybe the most fraudulent 2-0 team of all time. It was just, I've watched a lot of Commanders Giants game in my life. This was maybe the most depressing out of all of them.
It was a pretty depressing game. The Giants won the game, and the last points they scored was with 8 minutes and 56 seconds left in the second quarter.
Yeah.
They didn't score for the last 39 minutes.
It was, I think they scored their first half touchdown of the season today.
Yeah.
And then they did it again. And so I'm going to just sell everyone mode. I'm going to build around Tress Way or punter. That's what I'll say.
I think that might be the most frustrating thing that you're going through, is that your team stinks, but you have a lot of good players.
Yeah.
Because I don't have any good players. You have a lot of good players.
We've got some good players.
Terry McLaurin is awesome.
Yes. So
Brian Robinson, awesome.
Terry McLaurin had a great second half today, and I would like to see them throw the ball to him more in the first half. But I'm gonna turn it over to actually Jonathan Allen, and they reached him for comment after the game. This is his quote: "I'm fucking tired of this shit. I'm fucking tired of this bullshit. It's been 7 fucking years of the same shit. I'm tired of this shit."
Well said.
That might be my tattoo.
Yeah.
That says it all. That is being a Commanders fan in general. This is me and Jonathan Allen. Co-quote me on this one. I'm fucking tired of this shit. I'm fucking tired of this bullshit. It's been fucking 7 years of the same shit. I'm tired of this shit. That says it all.
Yeah.
I'm just sick of it. It sucks. It sucks.
And Sam Howell, he's 40 sacks now through the first 7 games.
Yep.
He got sacked 6 times today. The Giants don't really have like an incredible defense. They played an incredible defense today. They were phenomenal. The weird thing that comes out of this game is Tyrod Taylor better than Daniel Jones?
Yeah, I was actually disappointed that it was going to be Tyrod when I found out that he was starting today. I would much rather play against Daniel Jones.
So he did 2 things. Well, he did 3 things. One is he got Jalen Hyatt involved. So he had 2 catches for 75 yards. I think he had like 5 catches before that. Mm-hmm. You drafted him last year. He's very, very fast. We loved watching him in Tennessee. Also, shout out Jerry O'Connell, Darren Waller.
Yeah.
Hello. He got Darren Waller involved. And here's a crazy stat. So Tyrod had 279 yards, 9.6 yards per attempt, and 2 touchdowns. Daniel Jones in 59 starts has never in one game gone over all three of those.
That's crazy.
Combined.
That's wild.
He's never had like a statistically, he's had probably games that are maybe statistically better in like 4 touchdowns or something, but he's never had all three of those over that.
It was also Brian Dable. He was in charge of the offense this week. He was like in all the meetings.
Well, Tyrod, he took chances. He's like decisive. He's seen it all.
Yeah, he really has. Congrats to the Giants. Much better team today. I don't think anybody out there is like, oh, the better team lost. No, the Commanders stink, and I'm fucking tired of this shit.
They were 1-15 on third downs.
Get rid of it. You know what? I used to say, keep Sweat, trade Chase Young. Why not trade both of them now?
Oh, so you're in full tank.
I'm in full tank mode.
Welcome.
It's a bad team.
Welcome.
It's a bad team. I've accepted it. There's just no hope for this team right now. Now, Sam Howell, I would like to see him just like give me a little boost of confidence for the rest of the season. If Sam Howell continues today, he didn't play well, but if he gets back to playing like good Sam for the rest of the season, then I can at least think to myself, we have a quarterback that maybe we could build around.
Good news. You play the Eagles next week, and I actually mean that. You always play the Eagles tough.
Yeah.
So that is good news.
Yeah.
Like you play the Eagles tough.
I'm just fucking tired of this shit.
Yeah. That sucked. That was the biggest bummer of a game to watch.
It was terrible. The Giants doubled their sack total for the season in the very first half.
Jesus
and the
Christ.
Commanders had more punts than completions in the first half.
It is tough to sell yourself on 3 and 4 when 2 of your 4 losses are to the Bears and the Giants.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair to say.
Yeah.
So yeah, just fucking tired of this bullshit.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
But it was bad.
I'm familiar with having this feeling right now. I've had it before.
Yeah, it's like getting into a warm tub.
I did see that Vegas put out some stats on where Belichick will coach next if it's not on the Patriots. Commanders are the odds-on favorites.
I think the Bears are second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we might get Belichick. Listen, I've always said that Belichick is a great coach, not washed up, and it's close to his hometown of Annapolis, Maryland.
You know what? Like, I fully embrace you going to tank mode. I've said it before. That moment that you realize your team sucks, you have like a very brief denial phase, and then you quickly are like, I've been here before. This is, I'm crawling back into my own bed.
Yeah.
I know how this. I'm going to sleep well tonight. I've been through this. You do have though a very big game in 2 weeks that you have to win.
Who's that?
At New England.
Oh yeah, that's huge. That's going to be a massive one.
That's going to be a massive one.
I think Ron Rivera also might be dead. He actually might just be a dead body.
We saw him almost talk today.
Weekend at Bernie's him on the sidelines, just like propping him up, putting the transition lenses on him, and just putting him there with his arms crossed and not saying a word. He got fired up about one blown call. So I did see him talk today for the first time all season. So he might not be dead unless we've got a ventriloquist. But it was I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on with that team at all. It's like it seems like the coaching staff is checked out. I don't know what Del Rio's doing. It seemed like we had never seen a blitz before.
Yeah.
It was all around just a bummer of a game. We always play the Giants weird, and it's always like 45 degrees at MetLife, and it's super sunny, and it's just weird vibes from the get-go. So yeah, let's sell everybody. Sell everyone.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, Falcons 16, Bucs 13. This was the perfect NFC South game in that both teams are not very good, but you could maybe look at them in a light and be like, ooh, maybe they're okay. And then the Falcons were better, but they also tried to give the game away so many times. And here's one positive for Falcons fans. Desmond Ridder did not throw any interceptions. He did fumble 3 times, though.
And I think he fumbled at the 1 yard line twice. Yeah.
Maybe he's just like, maybe Arthur Smith was like, listen, no interceptions. He's like, got it.
He had 3 red zone turnovers, none of which were interceptions. The first player to win a start with 3 red zone turnovers since 2000.
Good for him.
So he accomplished the impossible. If you're a Falcons fan that does not have like the YouTube package, so you're watching out of market, maybe you're watching on red zone, and they keep cutting to your team in the red zone when you're about to score, you probably think to yourself, oh, awesome, they're cutting to the Falcons, we're about to score again. And then it's just 3 turnovers.
Yeah.
Like back to back to back. That must have been very strange to watch for Falcons fans. I think the Falcons are now officially the worst good team in football.
And they also are the best team in the NFC South,
Yeah.
which is not really a compliment,
Yeah.
but it's a fact.
And maybe you can get better if Bijan Robinson carries the ball at all.
Yeah, so he was feeling under the weather today.
Diarrhea.
Our good friend Jerry also quote tweeted a Twitter account with 6 followers that said Bijan Robinson was not playing today because during meetings this week he was smoking a vape and Arthur Smith told him to stop, and Bijan blew smoke into Arthur Smith's face.
No, that really happened.
Jerry was like, "Wait,
What if that guy was right?
It was
Two.
8 followers and a guy
8
with
followers.
All right, just because he's
Check
got
it
8
back
followers,
on.
it
Yeah.
doesn't mean that it's not true. That
He
report.
did say it was a bad headache.
it was okay."
He had
So
a
he had
migraine?
Yeah.
I like guys that have wee grains.
yeah,
Team guys.
Arthur Smith, I think he is. I would have to do a quick power ranking, but I think he's pretty close to top 3 funniest coaches on the sideline.
No, his reactions are so much better this year.
It's like him and Pete Carroll.
The mustache has done wonders for his like slapstick comedy on the sideline.
He's so funny to watch.
Yeah, he's
I
great.
love him.
And I have a theory about Arthur Smith. I think his strategy is to get a bunch of really, really talented players on offense and then make opposing defensive coordinators have to game plan for them and then not use them at all.
It's smart.
And so it's like you've wasted your entire week of practice thinking about how Bijan Robinson is going to run roughshod. Here's all the Tyler Algier in the world for you.
And a little Cordell Patterson
And a
to
little,
mix it in.
Yeah, we're going to get freaky with it and put Cordell out there for a little bit too. Oh, you've seen what Kyle Pitts does on tape? Guess what? We're not going to throw the ball to him at all.
He's actually a genius.
Yeah.
He's basically the Allies in World War II when they staged all the dummy tanks in a different part of England.
Yeah, or
He just drafted a team of decoys.
they pushed some like paratrooper out into the Mediterranean Sea saying how D-Day was going to be in Italy.
Yeah.
And drew all the tanks away. Yeah. I think that's what Arthur Smith's doing. He's like, they're going to put together the perfect defensive game plan to stop our really talented players.
Yeah.
And then we're just going to just paper cut them to death with like the second stringers.
Yeah. And the Bucs suck. They do.
Well, I think now they might be the best bad team in football.
Oh, best bad team.
Maybe the Rams.
Rams are definitely in the Chargers.
Oh yeah, you know what?
The Chargers might be the best bad team.
I didn't think about that because we weren't thinking of the Chargers as being a bad team.
No, they are a bad team.
They're a bad team.
Yeah, I think the Chargers might be the best bad team.
What about the Bills?
Bills
Bills actually might be.
I think to be considered in the bad team category, you do have to be 500 or below.
Okay.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, that would be. I would probably take Chargers over the Bucs as best bad team.
Who do you think the worst bad team is? Because I think the worst bad team might actually be the Raiders.
I think the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals got everyone. Well, the Panthers didn't play this week, so
Yeah.
we forgot about them. They're probably the worst. But the Cardinals also, like, that was, again, I think that Cowboys win they're living off that Cowboys win for a while. Like, when people are like, look at the Cardinals, they're frisky. They're not covering spreads anymore. But yeah, the Bucs stink. They can't run the football. They're not very good they're okay on defense, and then I don't know, like a couple times a game they'll do like a deep shot to Mike Evans. You'd be like, ooh, the Bucs. And that's about it.
Yeah.
And then they've beaten the Vikings, the Saints, and the Bears. So they're a little bit better than the really bad teams.
And I think the Falcons have a pretty favorable schedule going forward. So the Falcons, I think the Falcons are going to make the playoffs.
I think they're a playoff team.
I think they're a playoff team.
I agree. Yeah, no, they do. They do have a favorable schedule. They don't play. Their toughest remaining game might be at the Jets.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is. That's their toughest remaining game.
At the Titans. Because remember, Vrabel's been he
True.
was game planning ahead, doing the Oilers helmets.
Yeah, remember the Titans.
Yeah.
That's true. But yeah, the Falcons, their defense is good. Falcons defense is good.
Yeah.
And
their offense today was actually pretty good, except for the whole fumbling the ball at the 1 yard line thing.
Again, I think Arthur Smith just needs to sit Desmond Ridder down and be like, so when I said no interceptions, I actually meant to say no turnovers.
Yeah.
Because that does feel, the fact that he went from 3 interceptions last week to no interceptions, 3 fumbles, feels like it was a lost in communication thing.
Yeah. Arthur Smith just needs to rebrand. He needs to say, like, okay, the 1 yard line is the brown zone. Just don't shit yourself here and you'll be fine.
Yes, because it was, the Falcons could have won this game by a few touchdowns.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Bucs stink. I'm ready to say the Bucs just stink. They're not good.
I would say the Bucs, poorly coached team.
Well, yeah. Todd Bowles not a good coach. No. It doesn't. Stephen Shea, our friend and colleague who's a Bucs fan, will not admit that the Bucs stink. He was after the game was like, I think the Bucs are better than the Falcons. Like, well, they did just play a game to prove that, and the Falcons did win, and they have a better record and better wins. But his not fully understanding who he has as a coach, like he was begging Todd Bowles to take timeouts with like 45 seconds left in the first half so that they could try to score back. I was like, Todd Bowles would never do that.
No, that requires thinking ahead.
Yeah, and also being aggressive.
Yeah.
It's just he did go for a 4th and 6 today, so credit to him for that.
It's interesting what happens when Tom Brady leaves a franchise. It's almost like Tom Brady is very, very good.
Yeah.
And so you can get away with having a lot of deficiencies when he's on your team.
Yeah.
Then when he leaves, it's like, oh, yeah, these guys aren't really that great.
Yeah. Tom Brady really does. He's winning everywhere. He keeps winning.
Mm-hmm.
He's like Arnold, just coming all day. Tom Brady's just winning all day because all the places he left are in disarray. Okay. Before we get to the last early game, quick word from a couple of our sponsors.
Yes, before we get to the rest of these games, are brought to you by our great friends at Coors Light. I love Coors Light. I had some Coors Light yesterday, as a matter of fact. Enjoyed some ice-cold Coors Light. The mountains were blue. When you're in need of some chill fall vibes, there's so many great options. You got college football games, Halloween costume parties, chilling on the deck and watching leaves fall. There's always a way to turn off and hit reset. For those moments when you need to soak in the season, reach for a Coors Light. It's made to chill. You know what I did yesterday? I watched some outdoor football. I watched football on my roof. I was drinking a Coors Light. That is college football on a rooftop while you're drinking Coors Light. That is fall, baby. That's autumn. There's only one beer out there that's literally made to chill. That's Coors Light. The mountains on the bottles and the cans turn blue when your beer is cold. That way you always know when it's time to chill. When you need to hit reset, just open a Coors Light. It's mountain cold refreshment. It's made to chill. I love Coors Light. It's the one that I choose when I need to unwind. So when you want to hit reset, reach for the beer that's made to chill. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door with Drizzly or Instacart by going to CoorsLight.com/take. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. These game recaps are also brought to you by our great friends over at The Farmer's Dog. I use The Farmer's Dog. Blake loves The Farmer's Dog. The results of switching your dog's food from kibble to fresh can seem like magic. When a senior dog starts acting like a puppy again and the pickiest of eaters can't wait for dinner time, you might think some spells were cast. Took Blake to the vet this morning, weighed him in. He weighs 60 pounds. He's put on like 15 pounds in the last couple of weeks, and he's still looking svelte, but that's good, healthy weight he's putting on with The Farmer's Dog. He absolutely loves the stuff. The Farmer's Dog doesn't use any sorcery or secret ingredients to make their fresh food. They just use science. The Farmer's Dog makes and delivers fresh, healthy dog food. It's developed by vets, nutritionally balanced, and made from real healthy ingredients to human food safety standards. It's the best option for dogs at all life stages because it's not kibble, it's not canned goo, it's just real healthy food. The Farmer's Dog isn't just fresh, higher quality food. They also send the food pre-portioned, specifically for your dog based on their unique nutritional needs. They've got a fresh diet, and it's been found to have all sorts of benefits. You got healthier coat and skin, better breath, even easier digestion, and smaller, better poops. His poops are so easy to pick up, too. That's my ringing endorsement. Very easy, small poops to pick up. Farmer's Dog, love the stuff. Get 50% off your first box of fresh, healthy food at thefarmersdog.com/PMT. Plus, you get free shipping. Just go to thefarmersdog.com/PMT to get 50% off. That's thefarmersdog.com/PMT.
Okay, last early game, Bears 30, Raiders 12. I alluded to this earlier, that it's fun to win one every now and then. And it was fun to win one. Tyson Bagent.
It was a fun game.
It was a fun game for the Bears. The Bears defense looked awesome. Three interceptions, pick 6. Tyson Bagent looked good-ish. Like, he looked good.
He gets the ball out.
He gets the ball out. I thought Luke Getsy called a good game. Made it easy for him. I'm very happy for him. I mean, like, to be an undrafted Division II guy, to be starting an NFL game 2 months later, it's a cool story.
So here's some fun stats. Tyson Bagent's last 2 starts, he lost to the Colorado School of Mines, and then he won against the Las Vegas Raiders.
Love it.
So that's quite a turnaround for him. He had like 40 friends and family in the stands. You have to do that. You're like, I might not ever start a game again. Who knows? Everybody come out and watch me play football.
Dude, here's the thing. If he never starts another game again, which I think he'll probably keep starting because I think Justin Fields will be out for a while, he is a legend. Like he can go back to his hometown. He can coach football. He can put up all this game, newspapers, everything. Like, it is the coolest thing ever.
He got the game ball for sure today.
And I think he might have actually proven that he's a competent backup quarterback in the league that should stick around for a while. So I'm happy for him. I'm not conflicted the Bears won today just because every other 1-4 team except the Cardinals also won.
Mm-hmm.
So it was actually a perfect day to win because we went from the second to the third pick, and if the Panthers keep losing, like, the Bears can win a couple games. And it's fun to win one. It's fun to not feel like the biggest piece of shit in the world when you watch your football team on Sundays. And so I'm happy.
You should be happy.
I'm happy they won a game.
I'm happy for you that you're happy. I have a question about happiness, though. Do you think Justin Fields is super happy?
So this is not great for Justin Fields' mentals.
Yeah.
Because
Badgen looked pretty good.
he looked pretty good. Now, I think it was very clear the game plan, a lot of running. Deontay Foreman was awesome. He was awesome. Deontay Foreman had 120 yards from scrimmage and 3 touchdowns, running angry. And we're on our, like, we have just a bunch of third, fourth string running backs after him that are running and doing a good job. And it was very clear, like, quick passes, get the ball out, first read. So it's not like I walked away being like, this guy is the greatest player of all time, but he looked very good running a NFL offense. And it just, nothing could be, like, I know Justin Fields wants he wants his teammates to win, but not great for his mentals.
No. In his heart of hearts, he's glad that they won, but he wished that maybe the quarterback didn't look so good.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a quarterback controversy because you still have to try to figure out what Justin Fields is for the rest of the year. But yeah, probably not the best night for him.
Having your coach repeatedly say Justin is our quarterback after the game, that's not what you want.
It's Rex is our quarterback.
Yeah, that's not not necessarily the best position for Fields to be in.
Also, shout out Eberflus, I guess, because he hasn't lost the locker room, I guess.
Yeah, they're still competing. They played hard today.
Yeah, I don't know.
It was a battle of who's lost the locker room more, Matt Eberflus or Josh McDaniels today.
Well, so last thing about the Bears real quick, because I know no one really wants to hear about the Bears because they stink, and I know they stink. But this is one of those wins that momentarily I'm very happy. I'm going to go to sleep happy tonight. I'm going to wake up happy tomorrow. But it could very well be a game I look back on and be like, why did we win that?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, no, you're right when you say
like
that.
If Eberflus keeps his job.
I don't think I hope that's not going to happen. Just like as a neutral NFL fan, I don't want him in our club.
I know.
But yeah, you say right now it's not a bad week to lose one because all the other bad teams, they won. But at the end of the season, you're going to look back, and it doesn't matter which week you actually won that game.
Yeah,
it still counts for the same.
Let's just hope.
We are prisoners of the moment.
Yes. Yeah, but let's talk Josh McDaniels.
Offensive genius, Josh McDaniels.
He does not want to start Aiden O'Connell. I think Aiden O'Connell did something to him personally because he said afterwards this isn't preseason anymore when asked why he didn't start Aiden O'Connell. Josh McDaniels also is now after his 6-0 start in Denver, he is 14-32 as a head coach.
And they were cheating during that 6-0 start.
Cheating in the 6-0 start. He also, in the last year with the Raiders, he has lost to Jeff Saturday.
Yep.
Who just, came from ESPN and coached the team and was like, I'm not even going to wear a headset. I'm just going to rile these guys up. He lost to Baker Mayfield when Baker Mayfield was basically wasn't he signed like
2 days before, I think.
Yeah, 3 days before. And then he lost to Tyson Bagent.
Yeah, so power rank those in terms of the worst losses. I would put number one being the Jeff Saturday game.
Yep, agreed.
When you get outcoached by Jeff Saturday, that's pretty bad.
Yep.
And then I would put this second, and then the Baker Mayfield 1/3, because I almost feel like Baker Mayfield, when he's got something to prove, when he's real pissed off, and he feels like he's an unloved puppy, that's when you get a dangerous Baker.
Heisman.
You want a Heisman?
Yeah, he's a good quarterback.
Yeah.
That's like
an
ESPN analyst and a D2 guy. Like,
well, I mean, Tyson Bagent may be him.
Yeah, that's true.
He may be. The story is developing. But yeah, Josh McDaniels a really bad. He's a combo too, a really bad coach, and by all accounts, just a terrible human being to be around.
Yeah, as you know what, as bad of a coach as he is, he's an even worse human being. How happy do you think Jim Irsay is that he took a massive shit in his house when they were interviewing him?
Yeah,
like that's probably the best shit of all time
ever. Jim Irsay, yeah.
You avoided 4 years of Josh McDaniels. That's a great shit.
Oh man, it's no one likes him.
No?
No one likes him, and he's bad at coaching.
I'm trying to think who would like him. Maybe Belichick. Belichick might like him, yeah.
I guess Mac might like him. He did have a good year under him.
Yeah. But yeah,
Brady probably tolerates him.
I think Brady enjoyed their time together.
Yeah. Here's Josh McDaniels in a nutshell. Because he does kind of coach. He coaches. There are coaches that coach off vibes, and it can be fun. He coaches off vibes, and it's just bad vibes.
Yeah.
So in the same drive, the Bears were up 21-3, and Josh McDaniels went for it on 4th and 4 at the Bears 9, and then he kicked a field goal, 4th and goal at the Bears 6.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, no, he does coach on vibes. The field goal,
bad vibes, only bad vibes.
His field goal choices have been just very confusing for the last 4 weeks. I don't know what he's doing. I just saw somebody else that probably likes him. Jay Cutler probably likes him because he shipped him out. And he didn't have to work with him anymore.
Yes, although I've heard stories about how shitty he was to like everyone on the Broncos, that maybe he's like, you were mean to my friends.
The best thing that Josh McDaniels can do as a friend is to get you as far away from Josh McDaniels as possible.
Yes. He's it's quite something. It's quite something. I mean, the Raiders the Raiders have gotten worse.
Yeah.
Bisaccia had them in the playoffs.
So I think the last time they had 21 points once this year, and I think they had 21 points week 17 of last year, but they haven't broken 21 points in that span. And again, offensive is he a guru? Offensive genius? Offensive genius. Josh McDaniels.
Yeah. And the Raiders, like, this actually was a game that the Raiders, if they had won, and they probably should have won because the Bears aren't good, they'd be 4-3, and everyone would be like, "Ooh, Raiders, sneaky, maybe playoff team."
I just can't believe that.
Nope.
I can't believe that the Raiders have won 3 games.
Yeah, well, we found out very quickly that the Broncos, the Packers, and the Patriots are also all
pretty bad,
very bad teams. But yeah, I mean, are the Bears better than those 3 teams now? I don't know. Maybe week 1 never happened.
The last like 3 or 4 weeks, the Bears haven't looked bad.
No, they haven't. They have not. I mean, they did look bad against Vikings, but still.
Besides that,
yeah. of the 2 Bears wins in the last 3 weeks, they've looked good twice.
Yes, I think the Bears look better in those 2 wins than they look bad against the Vikings in their loss.
Yes, but nothing has been as bad as the Chiefs' loss.
Yes, that was bad.
Okay, let's get to the afternoon slate. We got Seahawks 20, Cardinals 10. It's time for Kyler Murray to come back.
Yeah, Josh Dobbs, we had fun with Josh Dobbs, didn't we?
It was a great time.
And he's actually still a fun quarterback to watch.
And it's just the Cardinals, we said all this on Friday, but that Cowboys win has everyone like, ooh, the Cardinals. Because, and also the Giants' close loss. They have not covered in 4 straight games.
But they did cover the first half.
They did cover the first half. They keep doing that. They might just be a really bad team. They are now in the 2nd draft position. They kept it close. I have a take. I think the Seahawks are really fucking good.
So they are.
I do.
They are. They you could say maybe they need a slight upgrade at the quarterback position. But when Geno plays well, they're a playoff team for sure.
Yeah. The Seahawks, if you look at this box score, you're obviously 20-10. They're not that good. They lost the turnover battle 3-0. And they still won by 10 points. And I think their defense is what is for real. I think their defense is very good. And they didn't have DK Metcalf today. Jake Bobo, favorite name.
Bobos are great. Bobos are having a moment right now.
Bobos
between
are.
Jake Bobo and Mike. Is it Mike Bobo?
Mike Bobo.
Offensive coordinator at Georgia.
Yep. And
Bobos are up big.
And the Bobo that's schemed Jersey Jerry and had him go to a golf course, challenging him to a one-on-one match and never showed.
Big year for Bobos.
Bobos are.
Jake's a great name too.
But Jake is a good name too. Bobos are having a moment. But yeah, and then Jackson Smith-Njigba was really awesome too. So it's like the Seahawks, I know that they weren't that impressive today. I think they're a really fucking good team.
There was a great moment in today's game where DJ Humphries got kicked out for making contact with an official after a play. And when refs get hit by accident, their reaction is so funny. They get mad and they throw the angry flag. I love they throw it as high up in the air as
they're
they
like
possibly
jail.
can.
Yeah.
Yeah, they like get in the guy's face and they seriously launch that thing like 50 yards straight up in the air and then let it drop like a hand grenade. Boom, you're out of here. You're done.
Would you, if you were a ref, would you be a like regular toss, or would you be a like backhand toss guy?
It depends on what penalty. I think if it's delay a game, you go backhand toss. If it's pass interference and you're across the field, you launch that motherfucker. That's your time to shine.
Yeah, that's true. Anything on the line of scrimmage, it's usually just a grab and pop up.
I've actually wondered about the flags. Are they all made by the same company, or do some refs prefer like a heavier bag than other refs?
Oh, you think there might be some like corking going on in the bats?
There might be, because you want it to have like a little bit of weight to it, but not too much. If it's got a little bit of weight, then you can launch it. You can't launch a soft bag.
You soak it before?
Yeah. We might look into that. Is there like a uniform bag that's used by referees?
We should do a video of us just how we would toss flags. I think I would be like a football every time and try to get just distance.
Try to hit the guy that the penalty's on.
Yeah, what was the guy's name on the Browns? Orlando.
Was it
Gary?
Orlando
No.
Brown?
Browns.
Orlando Pace.
No, it wasn't Orlando Pace.
Somebody got hit in the eye by a flag.
Yeah, it was like actually bad. It actually like hurt him.
No, it like blinded him in that eye for life, I think.
Flag.
Ooh, should we?
Orlando Brown. Okay, you're right. Wait, but there's another Orlando Brown.
There's a couple of Orlando
Yeah.
Brown Jr.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's
Yeah.
why I got confused. Yeah.
Should we do a contest in the new office?
Who could throw? Yeah, I like that.
Okay.
Farthest flag.
Like punt, pass, and kick, but it has to be accurate too.
Well, we should do distance, height, and
Yeah.
accuracy.
It ruined his career.
Yeah, it fucked him up bad.
I forgot that it was like very, very bad. He sued the NFL over. Oh shit, he passed away at 40.
Oh.
Damn it, that was like a really sad Google.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Fuck.
But it is funny when refs throw it straight up in the air out of anger.
Yes. So yeah, Seahawks good, Cardinals bad.
Yeah, that's pretty much
That was
it.
my take.
I'm gonna keep taking the Cardinals in the first half because they're fun in the first half.
Yeah.
They hang around in the first half and then things just kind of fall apart. Josh Dobbs has to try to do it all on his own, and Josh Dobbs can't do it all on his own. And so then you get these massive second half swings. But yeah, they're fun to watch. They'll give you a good half of football.
Yeah, and when I say Seahawks good, I think the Seahawks A game could compete with anyone in the NFC.
Yeah,
They have not played their A, like the Bengals game they played last week was not their A game. Today was not their A game. I think if they ever come up with their A game, I think they have enough talent on both sides of the ball to compete with everyone.
I'm mad that we lost a Witherspoon interception today.
I know.
That's a bummer.
I know
'Cause
for a personal foul roughing the quarterback.
Yeah, Witherspoon is. I continue to just love watching him play. He seems like he could be defensive rookie of the year.
Yeah.
It's just cool. It's cool to see the Seahawks with another elite cornerback out
Our
there.
guy Tom Fernelli told us about Devin Witherspoon. He played at Illinois.
DBU.
I wonder how Tom's doing right now with Illinois football.
What happened? I didn't catch.
We'll
that.
talk about it on Wednesday.
They played Wisconsin, right?
Yeah, we'll talk about it on Wednesday.
Did you watch the game?
I did. I watched the whole game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Tom was throwing every reverse jinx in the world at me.
Yeah.
Conceding defeat when we were still down like double digits.
It is kind of crazy. They do have great defensive backs that come out of Illinois.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
bad.
No, I mean, Devin Witherspoon is legit. Really, really good. And I think I'm high on the Seahawks. I'm buying on the Seahawks. All right. Here's a game where I don't know what either team is. The Steelers 24, the Rams 17. I think the Rams might stink, and I think the Steelers might be good, but I also could be told otherwise and be like, yeah, you know what? You're right. I'm wrong.
So we're going to repeat this. The Steelers have a 12-4 record in games after the bye week under Mike Tomlin. As an underdog, Mike Tomlin is now 56-30 against the spread.
Yep.
We're very dumb.
Outright win.
We're very dumb, but if you give us the same trend for like 6 years in a row, we'll eventually catch up to it and learn from that.
Mike Tomlin is the easiest coach to bet.
Yes.
He is. Who do they play next week? Let's play a whose lines anyway. Who the Steelers play?
Home against the Jacksonville Jaguars.
All right, give us whose lines anyway. I'm gonna say
Steelers by
I
one.
might just be a pick. Yeah, that could just be a pick.
If it's and I'm going to take the Jaguars.
Well, it depends. If it's +1.
The line is Jaguars -1.5.
Oh.
Okay, so yeah, take the Steelers.
You might take the Steelers then, yeah.
I have to take the Steelers. And if it switches, then go back on the Jags.
So Kenny Pickett had the best fourth quarter of his entire career today.
Well, I was going to say the reason why I think the Steelers might be good is their defense is good, and Deontay Johnson coming back is you can see how the offense is completely different when they have a really good possession receiver that Kenny Pickett can go to.
Yeah, also the offense is a lot better when the refs give you an extra half yard.
That's true.
That was helpful for them. And then Sean McVay just staring helplessly at the scoreboard, being like, why couldn't I have missed this game for the birth of my son today?
I know. I got that prediction wrong. He was not born today. Yeah, the coach without a challenge when he knows that he's right,
Just helpless.
the saddest feeling in the world.
And we got very confused because that's where the new rule came in this year, where if you don't get a fourth down, if you don't get the first down on it, it's automatically reviewed, right, Jake? And then if you do get it, it's not automatically reviewed.
So, according to our presentation in the preseason, correct. If it is a failed fourth down conversion, auto review. But since this was ruled successful on the field, a challenge would be required. They had no timeouts. They could not challenge. It was snapped at 2:24, I believe. So game over.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
The Steelers, though, credit to the Steelers, they are outside of obviously the Niners game and the Texans game. Like their wins, there is a formula. They just basically have their defense keep them in it long enough for their offense to wake up.
Yeah, they just grind you down on offense. And then George Pickens is the funniest player in the NFL.
Oh, the best.
He is so funny. I love George Pickens. I love watching him because not only does he throw like hilarious blocks, but he also just is liable at any point in time to start a fight with the other team or the ref or his own teammate.
The moment where he had his hands up after the play, and you're like, he is getting a flag.
Yeah, George Pickens did something very illegal.
He also does the thing where he catches a ball close to the sideline, and he'll just hold the ball out over the sideline, like out of bounds.
Yeah.
But he's not out of bounds.
But the ball is.
But the ball is.
Yeah.
And he just kind of, he talks trash mid-play.
He needs a get-back guy.
Yeah, he's the best.
He needs a like little buddy that just runs next to him and grabs him after every catch. It's like, hey, don't throw the ball in the defensive back's face.
And you saw when Deontay Johnson got a similar penalty, Mike Tomlin and I think Deontay Johnson were like very upset because it's like we in the algorithm, like the game script, we already have baked in at least 2 penalties for George Pickens.
Yeah.
We can't have other wide receivers getting them.
Everyone's got to play a clean game except for George because you're not going to get a clean game out of George ever.
Right, and that's okay because
also-
you could play on the edge with a guy like that. You can have one guy do that.
It's very funny that his name is George, too.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
Come on, George.
He is so much fun to watch. And I think their offense, like Jalen Warren is good. Najee even looked good. I think the Steelers might be good. I just pulled up their schedule. So I think they are going to beat the Jags and everyone's going to be really high on the Steelers. Then they have what looks like a prime time, I think it's a Thursday night game at home against the Titans. They'll be like 5-point favorites. They'll lose outright. And then they go to the Packers, and maybe if the Packers win a game or two, they'll be underdogs and they'll kill the Packers.
Yeah.
That feels right.
Yeah. Did you see Trevor Lawrence's tweet that he had though? So
is that a parody?
No, this is actually Trevor Lawrence.
Really?
So he tweeted, "Y'all keep your opinions and we'll keep finding ways to win. Eyeball emoji, #analysts." And then it's just a picture of Trevor Lawrence.
Oh, I thought
that he put
was
up there.
I thought that was
No, this is officially Trevor Lawrence's
because it's
account.
2 E's at the end.
Yeah.
That's why I thought it was maybe a fake account.
No, that's his. So he went #analysts on us. I don't know what analysts.
I like that.
Have you been hearing a lot of Trevor Lawrence hate out there from the analyst community?
Also, Trevor Lawrence talks shit?
I guess so. Y'all
What?
keep your opinions, and we'll keep finding ways to win. Eyeballs. #analysts.
That makes no sense. Are the Rams bad?
I don't know. I don't know if the Rams are bad. I think the Rams are perfectly average. I think they're like a very average team. Matt Stafford he goes through his little streaks, but I think he's still pretty good. Puka Nacua is awesome. And
Awesome.
He's so much fun to say. And then obviously Cooper Kupp, they can score points, but I don't think they're bad. I don't think they're good. I think they're just there. I think the Rams are like the perfect team for Los Angeles this year.
Yeah. I'm looking at like all their games right now. Yeah, I don't know what to make of the Rams. Because they clearly are not good.
No. I think
but they probably aren't bad.
I think they're the most perfectly average team in the NFL right now.
They're right in the middle where they'll just beat all the bad teams and lose to all the good ones.
Yeah.
So by that
means that the Steelers are good. The Steelers are good. They will. Yeah, the Steelers are like the Dan Campbell team. Well, they'll just drag you out to the depths of the water and just make you just swim and outlast you until you drown.
And TJ Watt. TJ Watt does best.
Everything.
He makes at least 1 or 2 plays a game that changes the game.
Yeah, and
the interception was that today.
Who's the guy from Wisconsin that's like mini TJ Watt?
Herbig.
Herbig.
Nick Herbig.
Nick Herbig.
I think I'm pronouncing it right.
Nicholas Herbig.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, they just draft all Wisconsin guys.
Smart
And
move.
they're just play defense. But yeah, I think the Steelers are good. That's my take on the Steelers.
Yeah, and they also
Good-ish.
they turned this into a home game. Every Steelers away game is kind of a home game.
But
for the
especially
Steelers.
in LA.
There's like this the community of Steelers fans that moves out of Pittsburgh and then retains the Steelers as being their anchor to their hometown is very, very impressive.
Well, there is like actual sociological, would it be? I don't know. It's getting late. Studies about
Sure.
the diaspora of Pittsburgh, because obviously they had all the steels, and all this booming industry, and then it all went away.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone moved away, and now they're just Steelers fans everywhere.
Yeah, that's the one thing that they keep.
Yeah.
God bless them.
Yeah. I mean, it is true. Like you meet someone from Pittsburgh, right away, and it's Steelers.
Here we go, Steelers.
Steelers. And then we got the baseball Steelers.
Who was the
And the hockey Steelers.
who was the rapper that was at the game that turned into a strip club?
Oh yeah,
Blueface, right?
Blueface.
Blueface turned the Rams sideline suite into a strip club. He had like, how many hoes did he have? I want to say
shitload of
he had like
hoes.
6 or 7
So
hoes
many
down
hoes.
there. He was just throwing. Okay, so he's making it rain on him.
It was one
Kind
of
of a-
those
kind of a
one of
broke
those
boy move.
sideline suites. Yeah, it
was
was
like-
down on the field level.
Below field level
Yeah.
almost. He was making it rain with $1 bills, which is how somebody that
Yeah,
didn't have a lot of money would make it rain.
It depends though.
He spent all his money on the hose.
It depends on how many $1 bills.
Yeah.
Like if you get $50,000 in $1 bills, now that's balling.
Yeah, that's true.
But if it's like if you got like $10,000 with $1 bills, come on.
If he's making it rain for the entire game with $1 bills, then
He
that's
never
kind of a cool move.
stops.
Yeah, if it's
He's got
if it's
TJ Watt's motor making it rain.
it's a downpour out
Yeah.
there, then that's cool. But if he does that like once a quarter, not that cool with once.
I'd agree. Yeah, people were not happy about it.
That actually.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
would happen.
Well, you think we made that up?
I mean, I don't. That's.
I guess it
crazy.
does kind of sound like a Mad Libs.
That happened at
Blueface
NFL
went to a
game.
Rams game. Yeah, you can do whatever you want at Rams games.
Oh my goodness.
Steelers fans don't care.
No, they
Yeah.
probably could have used some towels
Yeah.
down there after it was over.
Yeah, there's just. I'll tell you one thing. If I know anything about people from Pittsburgh, they're strip club guys.
Yep.
They are, and I say that in a very loving way. They are. West Virginia, Pittsburgh, Western PA, strip clubs. They like them. Okay, before we do the last 2 games and who's back of the week, we got one last ad.
Yeah, before we get to these last games, it's brought to you by Blue Chew. You can have better sex with Blue Chew. That's right. Blue Chew is currently the only place to go for chewable versions of sildenafil and tadalafil.
Sildenafil and
Sildenafil.
tadalafil.
And tadalafil.
I do this for advisors.
Okay, very good.
Yes.
These are the ingredients that help men achieve stronger, harder, and longer-lasting erections for sexual activity. It helps combat all forms of ED. It's a real shame Hank's not here for this ad read, actually, which also includes performance anxiety and also maintaining an erection long enough for sex. The chewable tablets have the same active ingredients that you'll find in Viagra and Cialis, but in chewable form. And at a fraction of the cost, Blue Chew is all about having confidence when it comes time to perform and having happy and healthy relationships. A Blue Chew subscription includes a free online consultation, 24/7 medical support, a prescription if approved, and discreet delivery delivered straight to your door every single month. Chew it and do it. Use promo code PMT, get your first month free. Use promo code PMT, get your first month free when you go to bluechew.com. That's bluechew.com when you get sildenafil and tadalafil, right?
Tadalafil and sildenafil.
And sildenafil. That's right. The 2 ingredients and the 2 drugs that you can take to achieve stronger, harder, and longer lasting erections for sex. That's right. Promo code PMT when you go to bluechew.com. We're going to have the hardest boys in the league. That's right.
Love it. Okay, last 2 games. Broncos, Packers. Broncos 19, Packers 17. The Broncos get a win. And
Congrats. It's their first time. They've lost 10 straight games while they were winning at halftime.
wow.
And so congrats to the Broncos for overcoming that.
Yeah, and they blanked the Packers in the first half. Packers offense looks real bad. The Broncos defense is not good, but they've actually had 2 good games in a row.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, I'm kind of happy because the Packers offense looks really bad and Jordan Love does not look good. I think I saw some crazy stat. The Packers had 10 guys catch a pass, but none of them got over 35 yards receiving.
That's pretty impressive.
That means that you really are looking for answers everywhere.
He doesn't have a number one.
He doesn't have anything.
The Broncos are kind of looking to trade everybody, but also kind of not. Did you see those reports?
Yeah.
It's like
They're dipping their toe in.
They're accepting calls from anybody, but they're not reaching out to trade anybody. It's like we're not getting divorced, but we have logged on to Tinder and we have Tinder accounts ready to go.
Right. Like we still love each other, but if you make an offer.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Yeah, we absolutely are listening. And the Broncos, I mean, turns out that I know that, the entire internet had a years or multiple year long debate about Russ cooking. When Russ has a good running game, he can cook a little bit better because the Broncos ran the ball very well today.
Yeah, he threw some good passes. He looked serviceable,
but it helped.
And he's also running the ball a little bit more. So he looks spry and younger than he did at the start of the season.
Yeah, not as short.
Yeah,
not as stocky.
He is a thick boy now.
Jordan Love is not good.
Jury's still out. I'm going to give Jordan.
Okay,
Love some
fine.
time.
Actually, I'm fine with that. I'm
going to give him some time.
I'm fine with that.
Actually, your biggest hope would be for let's go into next season.
Growing pains, guys. Growing pains.
It's too early to tell. The Packers are another bummer team right now.
I thought for sure that was just like the Packers. They always fucking find lucky ways. That touchdown pass that he had where he just rifled it from 4 yards away and it bounced off one of his guys perfectly into his other guy. Jalen Reed, I think, caught it. I was like, this motherfucker, they're going to get away with this. They're going to win this game. No, I don't. The Packers are not good.
Yeah, they're not a good team overall. A.J. Dillon looked pretty good today, though. He was moving around back there a little bit. He's a big boy, another thick boy out there.
Yeah. So the Packers have the Bummer Bowl next week against the Vikings.
Yeah, we're gonna have to watch that.
The NFC North is not good.
There's a lot of bad
besides
football
the Lions
being played out there. The Lions stunk today.
Yeah.
The Lions were
No, the NFC North had a bad day.
Yeah.
This is like, well, actually the Bears won, so I guess we kind of had to prop everyone up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, both these teams, Packers, Broncos, just downers teams.
Great uniform matchup whenever they play. Just thinks of the Super Bowl, whatever year it was, 97.
Yeah, Favre, Elway.
Yeah.
Gilbert Brown.
Yeah.
Mark Schlereth.
Gilbert Brown was so fat.
He was so fat. He was like 400 pounds.
He was so
I remember
fat.
I read an article.
John Elway helicopter. That was a great Super Bowl.
There was a Sports Illustrated article leading up to that Super Bowl where it was talking about how the Broncos were going to play against Gilbert Brown. And it was basically like Mark Schlereth pisses himself multiple times a game.
Yeah.
How do you like that, Gilbert Brown?
Yeah.
Probably not so happy now, are you?
And the Broncos won even when Terrell Davis had a migraine.
Yeah.
So they actually kind of won double. Should take away a Packers Super Bowl for that. If you're into that kind of thing. Okay. Last game. Chiefs-Chargers. The Chargers are the worst. I hate them so much. Did you think Travis Kelce might be important to the Chiefs offense?
That first half was insane.
He had 9 catches for 124 yards.
Wait.
By the way, we should say for anyone who had the over, that was one of the worst losses.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you had
like
that.
41 points in the first half, no points in the second half until the very end when the Chiefs scored a touchdown.
That was me for the picks.
Oh,
Yeah. I'm sorry, Jake.
You thought that looked like it was going to be a 75-point game. Instant classic.
We should also congratulate the Chiefs for winning the AFC West.
Yes.
Congratulations to the Chiefs.
Patrick Mahomes, 29-3 against the AFC West. The Chargers are I think they are gone from maybe if they get healthy, maybe if they get some things right, so they just aren't good.
Well, the defense stinks. The defense is second to last in total defense. Brandon Staley did say after the game, though, we need to hit the reset button.
Oh.
So they're hitting reset.
Well, the Bears are a good team to reset against.
We'll see what they do next week, but they're officially resetting their season. It's a good time to do it. Mahomes was 20 of 23 in the first half for 321 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Want to hear another crazy stat?
Yeah.
So I think in the fourth quarter, Travis Kelce had, it wasn't a drop pass, it was an incompletion. It had broken a streak that they had where Patrick Mahomes passes to Travis Kelce, 29 targets in a row became a completion.
Yeah.
29 in a row.
And you know what's crazy is as bad and as unlucky that we think that the Chargers are, there's actually services that track like dropped passes, dropped interceptions, like just pure luck, fumble luck, that sort of thing. The Chargers are somehow the most lucky team in the NFL this year in terms of those weird plays that go back and forth. The Chargers are the most lucky team.
They're a bummer to watch too, even though they should be fun. And Justin Herbert, I know he's got an injured finger on his other hand, but that interception he threw in the second half, like, I know that it got tipped, but it wasn't going anywhere good.
They're hitting reset though, Big Cat.
They're hitting reset.
It's reset time.
Reset.
Also, I forgot to mention this when we were talking about Jordan Love. The interception Jordan Love had at the end of that game is almost the exact same interception he had at the end of what was the Raiders game.
Yeah.
Where it's like 3rd and long, and then he just airmails a punt like 40 yards downfield.
Right into someone's stomach.
Right. Yeah. It's bad decision making by Jordan Love.
Yes. Other things. McCole Hardman. We called the Chiefs. They've reached their final form of being the Patriots, just dominating teams. Even so that, like, they're now doing it in a little bit different way where they're sneaking up. Like, if you're not watching these games, if you're not paying attention, you would be surprised to know that the Chiefs have a really good defense now.
Yeah.
So, like, they're shape-shifting every year to year. Patrick Mahomes, I think that was his first, touchdown pass over 20 yards this year. Like, he hasn't been throwing deep because that's just how teams have been defending him. So they're shape-shifting, and they're now winning in not a completely different way because it's still Mahomes, but it's definitely a different way than they were winning 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And part of becoming the Patriots is they brought back McCole Hardman, and he had a 50-yard punt return that, like, sealed the game.
Yeah. How crazy is it that the Chiefs had Tyreek Hill on this team?
I know. But that's it. Yeah, right. Like, that's a perfect example.
Yeah.
Like, they used to do it this way. Now they're doing it a different way. The end result is they keep winning, and they're the best team in the AFC.
And it seemed like today that Andy wasn't doing so much of the goofy shit where he's like fucking around with the other team.
Yeah.
It seems like the Chiefs, we always talk about them flipping the switch. I think switch has officially been activated.
No, they're just a really fucking good team.
And if you're a Chiefs fan, does it still bring you the same amount of joy watching the Bills lose? Like, are you still really amped up knowing that maybe the Bills aren't even that good this year? Like, are you still happy? How long is that going to last?
Yeah, who in the AFC? Now that we know, we alluded to this earlier, but I think the Ravens might be the second best team in the AFC.
Yeah, like public
I think
enemy.
we actually have to say that now.
Public enemy number one for Chiefs fans. When you're like, how come you're sucking this team's dick and you don't say anything about the Chiefs? I feel like it's probably the Ravens.
Yeah. Do the Chiefs and Ravens play? I hope they do. That would be a great game.
It would be the Ravens, and they probably still love it when the Bengals lose too.
They do not play.
Damn it. God damn it. Put that on the schedule, Roger.
They should flex games.
I know.
Yeah.
Like, they should keep an open week.
They should just do a Twitter poll.
Yeah.
What game do you want to see?
I think college basketball does that for some conferences. They keep like an open week, and then they like put the top 4 teams playing each other.
Surprise games?
Yeah.
How cool would it be if they announced the schedule for the next week on like Sunday night?
Didn't you mention this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a selection show.
In between the afternoon games and the start of Sunday Night Football, they do a selection show for what next week's games are going to be. It'd be electric.
Sick.
Love that.
It would suck for traveling if you're like planning to go to an away game, but it would be so fun.
Maybe they could figure out a way to sell that show and then use that money and redistribute it to each team that has to then pay for a certain amount of fans every week for like last second travel,
I like that idea. Yeah.
which they would never do.
Yeah.
But that would work. Jackson Mahomes finally got in the booth with Taylor Swift in the box.
Jackson was in Taylor's box tonight.
It was in Taylor's box. The Swifties are all kinds of shambles trying to figure this one out.
Yeah. Oh, Brittany and Taylor Swift had a nice little handshake that they made up.
Yeah.
That they executed a couple times.
I like that. I mean, Brittany Mahomes never bothered me. So there's a lot of people are hand wringing about all of this because I think that's all Swifties have to do every day is just think about what Taylor Swift is doing every second of every day. But I am enjoying watching other people be distraught about this.
Yeah. Brittany Mahomes has always been one of those things where people start to read real far into the relationship based on like one picture that was taken of them back in high school.
Well, it's also, I think, and this is a testament to Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is so likable, and people naturally, we are terrible human beings, and we're like, we have to hate something. And then they just were like, oh, we'll hate his wife.
Yeah. What's his flaw?
Yeah, right.
Oh,
right.
I don't care for his wife pouring champagne.
Right. It's like, no, actually he rules. And yeah, she probably has had a couple clips where she would have been like, oh, I wish I had that one back. But yeah, she never bothered me. And
They seem happy.
the fact that now Jackson's in the picture with Taylor Swift, I love all of it.
Mm-hmm.
I love all of it. Swifties, figure this one out. You're gonna have some sleepless nights, Swifties.
Yes, the Swifties, they make Taylor pass a purity test for everything.
Everything.
They remember her old boyfriend went on Cum Town?
Yeah.
And then they listen to that and they're like,
this is the worst.
Taylor can't be associated with this.
Also, hanging out with Bernie Kosar today.
Yeah.
And Bernie's face was awesome.
What was that about?
He had his tongue out like a dog.
Yeah, that was a great picture.
It was out sideways like a dog with his head out the window on the highway.
So the Chiefs are good.
Yeah. Chiefs are really good.
Very good.
Patrick Mahomes, best quarterback in the NFL. They have invented new ways. It really is fascinating to watch them kind of change in front of our eyes where they're winning games in different ways. And that is the testament of like, if you want to become a dynasty, you're never going to have the same roster year to year. And they've changed it over a few times and they're still going to keep winning.
And I love watching Isaiah Pacheco run.
Yeah.
He's
so angry.
So fun. Watch it. He runs like when your dog has a little bit of poop that they're trying to get off their butt.
Yep.
And just takes short little choppy steps.
Yep. Little scoot.
Yep. Big week for Rutgers football.
Yeah. Yes. Huge week. They're bowling, which is weird to celebrate.
Yeah.
When you're 6-2.
You got to take that though. You got to take your
But
victory.
to be like, we're bowl eligible. It's like, well, you're also 6-2.
Yeah.
Shouldn't you be happy about that?
Yeah.
Whatever. All right. Last game, night game. Max, you were not with us for the first half. Eagles dominated. I say dominated the Dolphins. I am of the firm believer. I love watching the Dolphins play football. They're very fun. They are on my fraud list until they beat a real team. Thoughts?
The Eagles pretty much took care of them handedly today. There's not really much else to say. Jalen Hurts had 2 bad plays, but other than that, looked really good.
Well, they put a brace on him, right?
I
think he was wearing a brace on his left leg.
Yeah, we came out at halftime. We're like, is Jalen Hurts injured? And Max just kept on saying, no, he's not. He's fine. Even though we saw him limping.
I think he was fine. He played.
Okay.
He had 2 bad plays, and then he played really well.
Yeah, so the Eagles, are you feel confident and you're back to just – I mean, you actually showed up for this game, so credit to you.
Yep.
You did.
Yeah, no, it was a good game. There's not – the defense is what looked really good. They held the top scoring offense in the league to 10 points.
Yeah. Now tell me about that shirt.
Oh, yeah, that
you're
is
wearing
true, 10 points.
right now, Max. It says,
damn.
I fuck with Philly, but the fuck is bleeped out. Kind of a soft shirt.
We're a brand safe company here at Barstool Sports. You can get it at the store.
Right.
I fuck with Philly. Nick Cassiano said it in a post-game interview and put it on a shirt.
I would like to see the full F word on your shirt.
Yeah, I would too.
That's a little soft.
You can take that up with Pilar.
Is it mean to call the Dolphins frauds or very accurate at this point?
I think they're not for real.
Yeah, I mean, they have beaten up the Panthers, the Giants, the Broncos, and then the Chargers is their best win, which is going really bad now.
And they beat the Patriots.
And the Patriots, and they have played 2 really good teams. Actually, the Bills might not be they aren't a really good team right now, but they played 2 teams that are at least playoff-worthy teams, and the Bills and the Eagles, and got smoked.
Can we also say that the Kelly Green jerseys should absolutely be a permanent thing?
I said 7 points. It was worth 7 points.
I had it worth 6.
I had it worth 7, and I hammered the Eagles because of it. And Eagles just manned them up. I didn't even do the calculation, Max, that you held them to 10 points.
Yeah. I do think that they wouldn't look as cool if they wore them every game, though.
They look very 80s, don't they?
know.
But they look 80s in a good way.
Yeah.
I think they'd look cool.
Like all the good
time.
parts of the 80s.
Yeah.
Not the AIDS.
I'm cool with it all the time. Or the crack.
Or the crack, yeah. Well, crack's probably real fun your first or second time.
Max, so that's it? You're feeling it sucks when you win. Even though I won too, but because I bet on them. But yeah, it's not.
I mean,
as
it got
fun.
interesting for a little bit there, but they basically controlled that game for 75% of it.
Jake, Dolphins are frauds.
Listen, I'm calling the Germany game against the Chiefs a must compete.
Oh,
If they get blown out,
That is loser.
if they get blown out, they don't play a good team.
Loser. So bad.
Until week 16.
That was one. I'm gonna play that back for you tomorrow, and you're gonna be like, "What did I say?"
I think we've thrown the phrase "must compete" out a few times as a joke on the show.
No, Jake. No.
They're going to be 11-3 or 12-4 heading into Christmas, and people aren't going to believe in them if they don't win that game or compete in that game.
Must compete.
What does compete look like?
Not like the way they've looked against the Eagles or Bills.
But they were competing tonight. It was 17-17 in the fourth quarter.
Mid-third.
Must compete.
What do you think about the refs tonight, Jake?
Very bad. but evened itself out with the pick 6. But 0 penalties on the Eagles. Was that final?
0 penalties.
Yeah, they played a clean game.
Jake,
The missed face mask was
Yeah, the missed face mask was bad.
missed face.
Yeah, but that was
mask.
ball don't lie. You got
Ball
it right
don't lie.
back. Touchdown.
Yeah.
you know what my pet peeve is, Jake? That officials don't have to do a post-game media scrum.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
do. They do the pool reporter.
Yeah.
They make one, or is that just NBA?
I think they type up like a written
I think it's
statement
NFL
after
too.
the game.
That needs to be a press conference.
You want to take back the must compete? You want to keep it? You can keep it.
You have to choose one way or the other.
You have to choose right now. Do you want to take back the must compete?
No, I won't get peer pressured.
Okay. Well, you could easily just say must win
I mean,
because it is a must win. If you want to be taken for real, you have to win that game.
right.
I will not. If the Dolphins compete and lose, I will not change my opinion on the Dolphins being frauds.
Really? If they lose like 38-35?
No. They have to win.
And their defense sucks.
They have to win a game.
Yeah, I mean,
they
they
have
were
to
banged
win a
up
game
today,
against a
but-
good team for me to be like, yes, this team is for real. You want to take it back?
I mean, at this point, I've dug the hole.
Okay, all right.
You're
Keep
getting
must
Jalen
compete.
Ramsey back.
Yeah. I'm just looking at the schedule right now, and the Chiefs are the only good team on their schedule until Christmas Eve.
The Jets aren't good.
They're average.
Oh well. What
Are
are
they
the
average?
Dolphins? What are the Dolphins? What are the Dolphins? The
5-2.
Jets beat the Eagles.
That's
Yeah.
a good
The
point.
Jets beat the Bills.
Yeah.
I think the Jets are better than the Dolphins right now.
No.
I actually, yeah, I'm actually going to say that.
Well, who would win head to head, the Jets or the Dolphins?
I think the Jets play.
They play on Black Friday.
No, I think the Jets play a style of football the Dolphins cannot play it.
I think if they played the Black Friday game today, the Dolphins would still be favored.
Yes.
Of course, they'd be favored, but I would
So it's
bet the
better.
Jets.
Okay.
No, I mean, I would bet the Jets. I think the Jets are better. They play defense. You got to play defense at some point. The Jets would maybe fuck up the Dolphins.
I kind of agree with Jake that the Dolphins aren't as bad as we're making them seem right now.
No, they're good because they win games,
Yeah.
but they're frauds because they can't beat. And I think the Jets could potentially fuck up the Dolphins right now. Memes?
Right now, the defense is humming where they wouldn't know what to do.
Right. Like I think the
that's
Dolphins have a
stretch. I think
problem with
coming off the Eagles win.
good physical defenses is seems like it's their kryptonite. And we should say the Bills were still healthy when they played them. So their defense was good.
I think you're giving the Jets a lot of credit.
Well, no headband. Zach Wilson's different.
Yeah, I just don't. I think the Dolphins are a finesse team that will beat the shit out of bad teams.
And they beat them.
Oh yeah, no.
What do you think
They're
about-
not bad.
Jake,
the
what do
Dolphins are not bad.
What do you think about the tush push?
Got to figure out a way to stop it.
Right in your face.
As long as it's within the rule book.
Let's make it clear. I think the Dolphins are good. I think they're frauds. Like they're not bad. They're not a bad team because
Right.
they beat up any bad team easily. But if they have to play a playoff caliber team, they're in problem until they can prove to me otherwise.
They still do have the best offense in the history of football through this many games. So they are very good on the offensive side. But if they're playing a team that's like super physical, like we saw what the Jets did to
the Eagles.
to the Eagles, they might get frustrated. I think they have to be in a rhythm.
The Eagles, the Chiefs, and the Bills.
And the Bills. The Jets played way better against really good teams
That's true.
than the Dolphins have.
That's true. I still think the Dolphins
they
are
must
better.
competed against the Chiefs.
They did.
They did.
That's the definition
That's
of
exactly
of
what they
competed.
did. Yeah. And
I still think
and
the Dolphins are better.
If Dolphins fans think I'm being unfair, if they do beat the Chiefs, I will flip my opinion very quickly. I'll be like,
Right.
okay, they just proved to me that they can beat a really good team. But I don't think I'm being unfair. I think Dolphins fans probably deep down, whether they want to admit it or not, probably agree, right?
So they've got the Patriots at home. I think they're going to just
Yeah,
punish
they'll
the
win that
Patriots.
game.
They're going to win that one. Then they're going to compete in Germany, and then they're going to beat the fuck out of the Raiders when they get back.
This goes back to, remember the Ravens fraud year when we said all year they were frauds and people got upset at us and then they lost in the first round of the playoffs?
The
Or
Vikings.
last year the Vikings. Like, fraud doesn't mean that you aren't a good team. It just means that when you have to play a playoff team, I would not bet on you.
You can still have fun as a fraud.
Oh yeah.
You can enjoy the hell out of this year.
And
but just reset the expectations when you get to January.
And you can flip the fraud moniker. Like you can play yourself out of fraud into for real.
Yeah.
You just need to win a couple big games.
You just need to win in Germany.
Yeah. It's very detailed analysis we got here. There's frauds. There's not good teams right now. That's the Bills.
Yeah.
There are good bad teams, bad good teams.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the Cardinals.
And there's
and
downers.
The Panthers. Yeah.
Downers of football teams.
Yeah, the Saints are a downer.
It's almost like you'd rather not be that good so we can't call you a fraud.
Right. If you had like lost to the Panthers, we would have been like,
Yeah.
okay, the Dolphins are just
4-3.
They're, you know what the Dolphins are? They're up
Frisky.
and coming. They're figuring shit out. Yeah, but if
You
you
might even say the Dolphins could be dangerous.
yeah, it could
if they
be
figure
dangerous,
this thing
right?
out. Yeah.
But the problem, it's the combo of beating the fuck out of these bad teams, then having everyone be like, look at how incredible this offense is. We've never seen anything like it. That's when you unfortunately fall into the fraud category.
Yeah.
So,
But how could they be frauds? They're the Dolphins. They have no history of anything.
because
Their offense
they're
is
like
so good.
breaking
Okay,
records.
offense is half of the team.
They scored 70 points.
Yeah, they scored 70 points.
They scored 70
They
points.
scored 70 points. Memes, you're
It's-
feeling yourself after I said the Jets.
Yeah,
would fuck
Memes
up
got
the
so
Dolphins.
hyped for that
I
comment.
think I would. I would take the Jets in a game right now if they played tomorrow.
It's honestly a blessing. It's a mixed bag, really, but it's good to be known as a fraud in a sick way because it means that you've put enough good stuff out there.
Right.
Right, it means you can't be awful.
Yeah, you can't be awful.
No, frauds. No,
Yeah.
frauds are not bad.
Frauds
They
are
can't
Super Bowl contenders.
These frauds have to be good
fall
enough
short.
to be called fraud.
You'd rather be a fraud than a bum.
I don't know if frauds are Super Bowl contenders. I would disagree. A fraud is never a real Super Bowl contender.
Because you won't get there.
At one point.
No, that's why they're frauds. That's exactly
That
why.
Ravens that one year, they were the 1 seed, right?
and they were frauds.
It's also beautiful because if
they
they
One
never-
seed's got to
they-
be a contender.
if they
No.
get to a Super Bowl, then they can't have been frauds
Right.
because they beat good teams.
You
So really,
understand?
we win no
Yeah,
matter what.
Right.
Okay.
But like a fraud is by definition, I just don't think they have any chance
No matter
of winning
what
the
the
Super
schedule
Bowl.
says.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll reassess when
Like,
they play the Chiefs.
That guy
Yeah.
in Catch Me If You Can, he was a fraud, but he had a great time.
Yeah. Awesome time.
Really good time.
He was never going to be president.
No.
Okay. Should we do Who's Back of the Week?
Let's do it.
Who's Back of the Week? Question Who's Back of the Week? PFT. It's the Roback question. RHOBACK.com. Promo code TAKE. 20% off your Q-Zips, polos, hoodies, joggers, shorts. Promo code TAKE. Roback.com. Right now I'm wearing the joggers. I wear the joggers constantly. They are the best. Promo code TAKE at Roback.com. RHOBACK.com. Dolphins fans are going to be mad at us for that for sure.
I think they'll understand.
I think that's just ultimate recency bias.
No, but that's
yeah.
not.
Look bad in primetime against the Eagles, and the Eagles just lost to the Jets.
Well, no, the Bills.
And that too, yeah.
Yeah.
But
It is
Still.
recency bias, but also the recent game that they played was against by far their best opponent of the year.
And I also I thought they were frauds going into this game. That's why I bet the Eagles.
right.
So it's not really that's Dolphins fans.
I think if the
that.
Jets lost to the Eagles last week, you would not even consider saying that.
What? If the Jets what?
Lost to the Eagles last week.
Uh
Like if the Jets played a game this week and lost, you wouldn't be saying that.
no, I would think the Jets would give them a very hard time because the Jets play very
All right.
good defense. They do. They play
Yeah, they
really
do.
good defense. So I
right.
I would think I would take the Jets in a game against the Dolphins right now.
All right.
I would. We'll find out in a couple weeks.
Yes, we will.
And just so Dolphins fans know, the Bears stink. So you don't have to tell me that I like. That's my favorite when they're like, "I can't believe you called us frauds. The Bears stink." Like the Bears are trash.
Yeah, just
Commanders are also trash.
just because we should know better than anybody else.
Yeah.
What a bad football team looks like.
Yeah. There was a year where the Bears went like 7-1 to start the year, and they had. It was some ridiculous thing where they scored like a pick six or a fumble recovery in like every game. And the whole time I was like, well, this can't last. Like, you know that this can't last. You can't do this every game. All right. Roback.com, promo code TAKE. Who's back of the week? PFT.
Yeah, my Who's Back of the Week. I'm just going to put Blink-182 as being back. They dropped a new album on Friday. It sounds like it was recorded in 2005. I mean that in like the best way possible. It's just good how sometimes you can follow a band for their entire career and they just put out a banger that sounds exactly like they sounded, 17, 18 years ago. It's a good album. I give it 4 balls out of 5.
Yeah.
It was like very, very nostalgic. Listen, Max, you listened?
I did. Favorite song on the album.
Anthem Part 3.
Anthem Part
They
3
should release an entire album that's just Anthem Part 3, Anthem Part 4, Anthem Part 5, because all the anthems whoop ass.
I need to listen to this because I do love Blink-182 as well.
It's
And
good.
They kept it like the formula is the same.
Just dick jokes and a couple songs about almost dying.
Okay, good. Because I hate when a really popular band then like gets older and just changes their entire sound.
Yeah, no, it's vintage.
Okay,
it is.
great.
It does sound like it's 2005 again.
It's not a bad thing to like be a cover band of yourself.
No, in fact, it's if you're a good
If
band,
you're a
it's
good band,
thing.
yes, it's a great thing. All right, my Who's Back of the Week is playoff baseball. We have had some awesome playoff baseball. Friday night, the Altuve home run, which Altuve might be the most clutch guy since Big Papi.
Yeah, he's number 2 in postseason home runs now.
Like every big moment he comes up huge. And then we had an incredible Phillies Diamondbacks game on Friday night where the Diamondbacks even the series and the Phillies won on Saturday night. Max, how are you feeling going into Game 6? Oh, and by the way, the Rangers, Nathan Eovaldi has been like the best pitcher in playoff baseball, shoved again tonight, and the Rangers just forced a Game 7.
And the bench was cleared on Friday night.
Yeah,
That was awesome.
Yep.
He 100% did that
And
on
Garcia hit a
purpose.
grand slam. Tonight.
Yeah.
I disagree so
I don't.
much.
Yeah, I don't think
Why?
he did
There's
it because why would you hit him?
way.
He
He
hit
did
him
that
in
on
his
purpose.
back, dude.
There's no
I don't think it was
way.
on purpose.
He hit him in his back.
Why the hell would you put the winning run, the winning
How
run
do
on
you
second
miss
base with
that
no
bad?
outs? You sometimes the ball just gets away from you.
I don't think
There's
so.
no way
He
you
hit
do
him in
that
his
that
back.
situation.
I agree with Max on this one. I don't think
no.
like if in a game that means that much, you don't put that guy on base.
I understand, but the where like if it was like high and tight, he hit him how you would hit him if you were doing it on purpose.
Correct. That's how
Fact
you
or
would
fiction?
do
Yes,
it,
that's
but
true.
you would never do it
Okay.
in that spot with no out. There's no way.
Yeah,
And then Dusty Baker just refusing to leave.
that was awesome.
That was cool too.
That was
Yeah,
very
that-
It's like make me
rocked.
go, make me go.
That
what are you gonna do?
rocked.
Shove me out of here? Like what would they have done if Dusty had just been like, "Fuck it, I'm not leaving.
Or
Do
was
something about it."
was
If they did, like,
Abreu just appealed it so he won't have to serve the suspension, right? Is that
Yeah,
true?
I guess.
I don't know. Okay.
no one should be suspended. Like
Yeah, no one should be
Yeah,
suspended.
you want to see the
playoffs.
best
Yeah.
players out there.
I thought he did it on purpose. That was an awesome game. Awesome series. Game 7 tomorrow night. So Max, you have now the 4:00 game.
yeah, it stinks.
How you feeling?
Feel good going home to the bank. Aaron Nola has been really good these playoffs. I will say there's always the possibility of a stinker from him. But the bats came back strong last night. You got to feel good going to the bank. You got to
Yeah.
feel good going to the bank.
Yeah, Abreu pitched tonight, by the way, so
Yeah.
he did appeal.
Is this a must-win for the bank?
No.
No.
Well, you must win one of the next two.
Hey, Max, you do this every single postseason.
Well,
You have an opportunity to take one at the bank here.
no, but then once Game 7's coming, you would just say, "Oh, the series is over,"
because
already said
you
the
used
series
your
is
must
over.
win too early.
Yes,
I don't think I would say that.
I thought yesterday was a must win.
Must compete, Max.
Must compete is loser talk.
Loser talk.
Loser talk.
Is Mike Trout going to be at the game?
The Phillies game.
Because he was at the Eagles game.
Yeah,
that would
he
be
was.
hilarious if he was at the Phillies game.
He loves having his
He can't
Octobers
do
free
that.
to
He
can't.
watch
He
all the
can't.
sports he
He
cares
can't do
about.
That would be so embarrassing.
It would
He
be
should.
so embarrassing.
He should do
cannot
it.
do it.
You know that he's just
He's
rooting.
watching it
it
at
was-
home, but he can't do that.
But yeah, Friday night's loss was absolutely devastating. I hadn't felt that way since the Eagles loss.
Yeah, you were spiraling
I was
pretty
spiraling.
hard.
I was spiraling. I was
just
like,
tweeting nonsense.
Nonsense. I don't know what was. I was really, really upset with that one on Friday night. I was being a lunatic in that bar.
Yeah. Well, you're kind of a lunatic.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's being a lunatic. It's just being Max.
Yeah. I didn't watch it. I walked away from the table of my friends in the second inning and didn't talk to them the rest of the night. I just kept going from different spot to different spot in the bar by myself.
Also, Max, I know that you've been on this podcast for a little over a year now. Like, not to toot our own horn, but we are a pretty big podcast, and you've gotten a little bit bigger of a following. You can't just tweet out a picture being like, here's my TV setup and 3 random girls in it. You can't do that.
Yeah.
You can't do
No,
that.
yeah, last night was bad for me.
Like, how did you think that was going to go?
I don't know. The TV setup was good, though.
When I saw it, I was like, Max.
I mean, I didn't
You
know who those
have a
girls were.
following now. I know you didn't know those poor girls. Just like people just going off in the comments. Like you gotta.
I was just excited about the TV.
I know you were. I know it was an innocent thing. I didn't think anything different. It was more like Max doesn't realize like he's got a following.
I'm not a smart guy.
No,
I have the perfect bar viewing situation tonight.
I also
that could make
had-
all the difference, and it's just a picture of 3 girls.
it's crazy. And when I saw it, I was like, Jesus Christ, Max, you can't do this.
Sometimes I'm dumb. Sometimes I'm dumb. That's okay.
Oh man. Okay, yeah. So prediction, Max.
I'll say 7-2 again, Phils. I would love to win tomorrow and not have to have the anxiety of a game 7. I'm stressing out thinking about it.
Yeah,
That would be no.
that's what I need though.
I know that's what everybody needs.
I need
that's what
that.
everyone.
I need Max with it all on the line.
Ugh, and then Rico's stupid face. I can't look at Rico's stupid face. Let's go. Let's just go win tomorrow. Let's just go win tomorrow.
Sounds like it's must win
Yeah.
because you already know you're going to melt down Game 7. Like
I
for
will.
for your cardiovascular health, this is a must win.
I would melt down big time. Oh yes, you would probably get your heart attack.
Yeah.
You would probably get your heart attack.
Well, if you make tomorrow a must win, you don't have to worry about that.
Nope, won't do it. Because if I did that and they lost, what would you do come Tuesday?
I'd support my friend.
You would say this you already said the series is over.
No, I'd support my friend.
No, you wouldn't. No one supports me.
For AWLs, you should be rooting for a game 7 because we will live stream that.
I'm not rooting for a Game 7.
I'm not either because
Yes,
I'm
you
rooting
are.
for the Phillies. I have a future on the Phillies. I'm rooting for the Phillies. I don't know if I told you that, Max.
You are rooting for a game 7.
I
But
I need the Phillies to win.
you don't though.
I do.
You need to see tears.
I need the Phillies to win so then I can hedge, and then I want tears. It's a very simple formula.
Max, I have a question about the setup that you had the other night when you were watching the game. Did you spit?
With the 3 girls?
Yeah, did you spit on any of them?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Did you rip your shirt off?
I did not rip my shirt off. I didn't mean it. I'm sorry if they ever saw anything. I just wanted to watch. I was just excited to watch the game. It was a good TV setup.
Yeah. All right, Jake, your who's back?
My who's back is security guards tackling fans.
Yeah.
We've got a few of them over the last few weeks, the most recent in Tuscaloosa. This guy leveled a fan. This one was after the game. I don't know if it needed that much violence when the game was over.
The security guard got like a 20-yard head start on that hit.
Yeah.
Just laid him
Like,
out.
I understand
that was
when it's
targeting action.
during the game and it's stopping play and there's millions of people waiting on you, but this one after the game, I don't know about that.
That was targeting. He
No,
went
but
he went
those-
head to head on that.
You got to remember, security guards, like they live for these moments. When they can tee off on someone, that is their Super Bowl.
And what was earlier this week? Philly? There was one at the Phillies?
Yeah.
That one rocked.
Rocked.
The best
in the
was the
middle of the game.
reaction. No, that was after the game. The reaction of the
okay, but
bullpen.
the players are on the field.
Seeing that guy get lit up was awesome.
I got no problem with it. Light them up. The other thing is, it's kind of like a dog chasing you. Like if you don't run, you won't get lit up. If you're just
Yeah, that's
walking,
true.
you won't get lit
well,
up.
this guy in Alabama wasn't running. He was just standing still, right?
No, he was
No, he was running.
running. I don't know where he was running though.
Yeah,
there was
he
no one
was
on the
running.
field. Like people go on fields all the time after a game.
Also, that's what makes going on a field fun is knowing that you could get lit up at any second.
Yeah.
The second they stop doing that, then it just becomes boring to be on the field.
Right. No, I'm all in favor of
It's the
lighting them up.
most dangerous game that you're playing.
Again, because these are like when you
crazy.
sign up to be a security guard at a stadium, like it can't be the easiest job, can't be the most fun job.
Yeah.
You just pray that someone goes on the field and you can just light them up.
You should get helmet stickers too.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
You should get that. Yeah, and then like successfully, keeping the fans from rushing on the field.
So we need to see, like, okay, the fans getting jacked up is awesome. I do like it once a year when one guy gets away from everybody.
Oh, yeah.
And makes it back into the crowd because that breathes new life into all
Yes.
the on the field idiots.
Yes, that is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good show, boys. I can already tell Dolphins fans are going to be very mad. I'm going to have to argue with them. I'm fine with that.
Or we said going into this game that if the Dolphins lose,
Here's
Fraud
the only
City.
thing I'll say is they did have some bad penalties called against them. And also, the Lions might be on fraud watch if we're being fair. If we're being fair.
No, they beat the Chiefs
They did beat the Chiefs.
that was
That's
a long
true.
time ago.
That was a long time ago.
in Arrowhead.
I don't think the Lions are frauds. I'm saying they could be on fraud watch.
Without Travis Kelce or Chris Jones.
Oh,
Good point,
Yep,
memes.
that's a good point, memes.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. It's fun watching fraud watch.
who is the
It gets
next?
fan bases so mad.
Well, of course, I'd be so pissed too. I mean,
Your whole rankings on Tuesday should just be
I totally
frauds.
understand why. Like, why wouldn't you be upset if your team is winning and someone calls them a fraud? That is your right as a fan to be mad. But
So-
we are, as a podcast, I want to just say, we have been pretty good fraud detectors.
So here's the thing
We have a
about the
pretty good
Lions.
track record.
The Lions, they could win their next 8 games.
Right.
And the last memory we have of them losing is getting their ass kicked by the Ravens.
Right.
So it's almost like they're going to become more fraudulent
Right.
the more of these games that they win.
Yeah.
So right now they're at a 4 out of 10 on fraud watch. As they win these games, the fraud watch will actually increase.
Yeah.
And 2 of their next 4 games are going to be in prime time, so you're going to want to love them even more. You have Thanksgiving, and then you have Monday night next week.
Yeah.
I think those are the 2 teams that are on fraud watch. I don't think there's any other teams that are on fraud watch. Because, again, the Bills, I think they're just not good right
They're
now.
not good. They're not a
Like,
very
that's
good team.
not... I think the Lions and Dolphins are good. They're just frauds.
Who else would be on fraud watch right
See.
now?
Who do you think has a better chance to win the Super Bowl, the Dolphins or the Bills?
Yeah, that's the thing. Right now,
Bills,
it's still
if
the
they got
I
Bills.
healthy.
don't think Bills. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. If the Bills got healthy, I would say the Bills.
I don't know. Right now, I would say Dolphins.
Oh, what?
I would say Dolphins. The Bills are bad right now.
I understand, but I still think I would take the Bills. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, the Bills killed the Dolphins.
I think if you're saying the Dolphins are potentially frauds, the Bills have to be in that category.
No, they're not frauds because I think they're just not good right now.
But
Frauds mean
frauds
that
is talking big picture. Like
everyone's-
Super Bowl
I think.
contender,
I think
right?
here's the difference. The Bills were frauds after they beat the Commanders and the Raiders. That's
Yeah.
when they were at their most fraudulent.
and now they've played really bad 3 weeks in a row.
So if you're the Lions, you would almost like to get a couple tough losses out of
Right.
the way, so you're no longer frauds.
You can get out of Fraudville by either beating a really good team or looking really bad for an extended stretch.
Yep.
So it's the opposite way you want to go. Frauds,
Right.
So yeah, fraud's good. In a sense.
Yeah, you're just never going to win anything. But yeah,
But it's better than where the Bills are.
right.
So for example,
In
the
your eyes,
Bengals.
Like if the Vikings,
the Bengals aren't frauds right now.
right, because they're 3-3.
Yeah. If the Vikings pull off
If the Vikings
an
had
upset.
lost a couple more games last year, they would have gotten out of fraud watch. Because
Mm-hmm.
they've been like, well, no, they're not that good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very delicate balance. I think that
interesting-
we've,
Yeah, it's interesting.
But again, we don't get a lot of things right on this podcast. I actually think that we're pretty good fraud detectors.
Yeah.
Makes for
We
good
have a
sports
good
talk.
we have a good track record of fraud detecting.
So for example, the Texans could go on a little hot streak because they have a pretty easy schedule coming up. The Texans might play their way into fraud watch.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
a team like the Texans should never be.
Well, not right now,
Not right now,
but if they
You're
stack
thinking
up,
about it right now.
if they stack bodies,
yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Fraud
What are
watch.
you gonna say, Max?
I think there has to be a sense of expectations, though, to be
Right.
a fraud.
And
Right,
they have
so-
to also be talked about in a way.
Yeah, like
by
I don't think
the
the
national
Texans
media
would ever be in that category because they had so low expectations coming into the year.
Yeah, probably not. Probably not. Okay. Numbers. Last time before the lottery ball machine, which we have
We confirmed
allegedly.
have it. Yes.
Allegedly,
allegedly.
I was in the office.
Oh, you
Friday.
saw it?
I did not see it.
Oh.
interesting.
Memes, have you ever gotten this?
Nope.
Shane, what's your number? 10.
18.
20.
Shane, do you want to say anything
3.
about the Chargers? Shane is a Chargers fan. We should maybe get Shane. We should do a Shane minute. Actually, maybe Sunday night when the Bears play the Chargers. If the Bears beat the Chargers, blow up your whole franchise.
That's an abomination. That's
There's
Shane's the
no
biggest
way.
lunatic on this show.
There's no way we can win that game.
Lunatic and just like a weird guy move.
Yeah. Why?
He never had Chipotle before he moved to New York. He doesn't eat food. That's basically the number one thing.
Yeah, we might have to do a deep dive into Shane.
He
One of
loves
these days.
Shirley Temples. Loves Shirley
Oh
Temples.
shit, Shane! I know you got down like that.
love
Shirley Temple is a
I
strong
love
move.
Shirley Temple.
Yeah, they're very
We
good.
went to that like really nice steakhouse in
Wait,
Louisiana,
talk in the mic.
and
Talk in the
Shane
mic,
got a Shirley
Shane.
Temple.
Shane, talk in the mic.
I got one at La Berge, the steakhouse.
Yeah. So you just get Shirley Temples no matter what? He's saying yes. I kind of like that move.
It's a strong order. Shirley Temples are delicious.
They are. So much sugar.
Yeah.
Like you're basically just eating candy at dinner. It's just water and sugar. And then a cherry with more sugar on top.
I guarantee you, every time a bartender pours a Shirley Temple and is sending it out to the server, they're like, in their head, there's a pregnant lady that ordered
Or
this.
like a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
Shane, one last thing. Answer this question. Is there anything worse in the world? I actually think that Shirley Temples might be the only drink. When they don't put enough grenadine in it, it is the worst drink in the world.
Yeah, it's not good, but I don't know. I don't really like the cherries either.
What? Wait, what?
So you just like grenadine?
Yeah.
You just like red Sprite.
No, I like the. I just like the syrup.
Yeah, the grenadine.
It's
Yeah.
cherry.
Did you know the name of the syrup?
Yeah.
Isn't that cherry syrup?
It's grenadine.
Yeah.
Yeah, but isn't that...
Yeah.
So you don't like the cherry flavor?
I don't like the cherries themselves, but the cherry flavor,
Why don't you like the cherries?
just not my favorite thing. I just like the drink.
But
It's actually made of
It's
pomegranates.
an underrated drink.
Oh, really?
So wait,
Grenadine is?
Yeah.
Wow.
So hold on. Cherries are not your favorite thing, but your favorite thing is the only drink that has cherries in it.
Well, it's not my favorite thing. I just enjoy them.
Is it your favorite drink?
Nah, probably just straight up Sprite, but just to treat myself.
Okay.
Why do you get the
We're
the
gonna have to do
Shirley
a
Temple
deep
then?
dive on
Treat
Shane.
myself. Well, you go to a place.
All right, we're gonna have to do like a
I can
20
get
questions
I can get
with
a Sprite
Shane.
whenever I want, but if I go to a restaurant or something, get a Shirley Temple.
Class it up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, splurge on myself.
All right, you know what? On Wednesday, because we're gonna have the booth set up, maybe we'll do like PFD. We just gotta do like 20 questions with Shane.
Yeah.
Like what, like have you ever had this? It's kind of like the Are You Garbage guys. We're
The
just
answer
gonna
will
find
be
out.
no.
Yeah.
He hasn't had anything.
What an enigma.
Have you ever had shrimp?
Oh.
I have, but seafood's not really my thing either.
What is your thing?
Chicken tenders.
Okay. All right.
Part of my chicken
you're, Yeah,
tenders.
you're
Yeah.
a 5-year-old. That's fine.
Plug God.
I have no
Yeah.
problem with having. I actually like people like you because it's like Gaz is like that. He just eats like a 5-year-old.
He makes Hank's like spice tolerance look like he's on Hot Ones.
Yeah, Hank is kind of a 5-year-old eater too, and I like guys like that because it's just like that you can kind of they're never really going to complain about anything because they'll just get chicken tenders or grilled cheese wherever they go. All right, numbers. Shane has 10.
1.
69.
I have 20. Max has 3. Jake?
It's on 3 right now, Max. So pick another number. I've never seen it pick the same number.
3.
Okay.
Strong.
84. Last one before the lottery ball.
I can't wait to hear those balls on Tuesday.
Yep.
Whoa.
Those
All
ping
right.
pong balls.
Hey,
Yeah.
Jake.
Those ping pong
Yikes.
balls.
Man, I can't wait to hear those
All right,
balls just
Jake.
clapping around.
Well, good news is, Jake, the must compete is now not the worst thing he said.
Love you guys.
Ping pong balls.